hits first, and then you will have Saksa go into triangle, try to get some stacks going in the outer ring as well, because Sanking, he can still farm it. It got nerfed because of the distance between the camps, so he can't like fully farm, especially the outer ring in the top part of the map.
Is it...
Whoa. Whoa, okay.
A Clinks?
Clinks with Slada Amp, that is scary.
Okay, so last pick, Arme Clinks. Guys, we've got to talk about this hero because Fia was very adamant that we would never ever see this hero at TI.
This is like the highest DPS hero if he can actually sit there and just right click in the game.
Okay.
And you combine that with a Slada, he's going to shred them. But they do have answers, right, with the D-Crab.
So how does the Clinks play Lacoste? It's been so long since he's been seen in a competitive game, so long since he's ever entered the stage.
We see it from time to time. I think this hero definitely has a place in meta with a specific setup because you have a good amount of saves. We talked about the BKB piercing tool, so that's going to be a good way of maybe protecting Ame. And this hero gets super tanky. Once you get to that level 5, 2 charges on eating the creeps makes you super tanky. Plus also the scaling. You did mention the Slardar plus his DPS could be very, very good. Plus Sanking, we talked about him not being the strong laner, playing into Clinks and Warlock. It's a very difficult lane for him.
Yeah, I think the Warlock is what really makes it work because Clinks' laning stage is pretty rough. Like
you want to heal, basically.
Yeah, you just want to heal and farm and get to the late game. It's kind of more of the same from what we saw in Game 1, but I got to agree with the old man Fear. I don't think Clinks is a very good hero. Like, you can get bursted. Like, you can die. Earthshaker, Sand King, like Snapfire ulti, even a Pugna can solo kill you, depending on the time of the game.
Yeah, you're really not instilling me with faith here, Jenkins. The other question I have for the side of Tundra and their lineup is seeing a Shaker and a Sand King. Is it a little too greedy? We're looking for two heroes that if they have kind of rough lanes, they both want to take stacks. Where does the priority go there, and how are you going to play around that?
I mean, they do have strong supports to kind of balance that out, right? They just need to make sure that they can survive the early phases. They don't get run over because they do have slower heroes in the early game with the Shaker and Sand King having to farm stacks in jungle. But I do feel like this game, I'm going to have to agree with Andrew here, where Tundra's they're going to have the easier to execute draft this time, and I think we were probably going to see a game 3.
Lacoste, I feel like you have nothing more to say other than I concur.
Yeah, it's a lot of easy to execute team fights for them. The 1-2 combo with either Earthshaker going in, Snapfire with the ulti, or Sanking jumping in. So they always have some kill threat on the map, which is very easy for them to execute. I think Extreme Gaming, they like to really push the limits with the drafts that they do have.
100%.
But I think they're going to take them.
You gotta respect the draft.
Okay. You gotta respect it, right? You gotta respect it, especially if maybe at home you guys knew. Let's see, though, if Tundra's coach Moon knew that this Clinks was going to be coming out.
I am indeed very curious about that. Moon Meander, coach of Tundra. I was wondering how you prep for a team like this. Extreme, they made their way through the road quick. Only played 10 games throughout that group stage. You, on the other hand, had to play quite a few more, so you don't have much data on these guys.
Yeah, we're just kind of guessing what they're going to play, I guess, and looks like their lineup's kind of impossible to guess.
Yeah, Clinks is not something that many people can predict. If there ever was a player to do it, it's probably Ame, but still, it seems like these 24th pick surprises are still alive and well.
Yeah, but I saw him play a pop on Clinks, and he lost, so maybe he thinks that looking good for us.
I like the sample size of a 1. And my last question is, obviously, this whole situation has not been ideal for you, although it seems like things exciting may be happening. I was wondering how you integrated Toby into the lineup so quickly, because making it here to main stage is quite a feat with a stand-in.
We had like 1 hour to pick a stand-in. It was so last minute, and we decided to get Toby because we saw him own with Team Liquid.
And hopefully he's going to do some more ownage here. Good luck, Moon Meander, as we get into game number 2.
Thank you so much, Neil and Moon. And we are into the game already, underway. A lot going on here, Trent, some crazy stuff. And the Bone Man almost got brought down, but we did get a first blood, too.
We did indeed. As Moon was taking the interview, wondering how the game was going to go, his team grabbed a kill. So that is indeed a pretty good start.
And Ame goes down again, down bottom. He was already coming in a little bit low HP, and 33 combos together with Sox to secure the finish.
Yeah, softens him up a little bit there on the initial play. They grab it. 3-3 is still very low. So potential maybe if they can find something on him before he regens. But he's got 3 tangos and, well, it's a Warlock and a Clink. So they're going to be doing a whole lot of chilling in this lane, presumably, as Saksa has to throw the body on the line here to get that Sentry into camp just to block the 1-minute spawn.
Yeah, important stuff right there to make sure they can't equalize this lane equilibrium at all. And I mean, you know, he talked about it there. This is a hard team to figure out. Moon was saying that even when you think you have an idea of what they're going to draft, it doesn't end up working out fully. They've ended up picking this Clinks. He said he did see him in a pub, though.
Yes.
So that means somebody on his friends list was playing with Ame. An important thing to watch for is when you can see their picks out a little bit earlier, since that's somewhat been gone recently. It's made some crazy matches, and we'll see if this Clinks pick is another one that gets them where they need to be.
And most importantly, he lost.
Yes.
As Moon pointed out, so we'll see. I mean, this looks a little bit like last game in the sense that things started out very well for Tundra. In fact, for quite a long time. They were doing very well in the previous match. See if they can perhaps get the finish. I think if we go back there, it's BZM, of course, melee hero versus Queen of Pain tends to have a pretty rough time.
My goodness.
You know, we're used to this. But if we go back to that first game, I think if they had...
You might still be
May
in
I
some
continue,
trouble.
BZM? Or you good?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's good.
I think if they get that Roche's Tundra, I think they win that game.
Yeah.
That first Roche, I think that it gets so much harder for XG. So if they can manage to avoid a disastrous moment like that in this game, you know, Tundra should have a better chance.
This is scary stuff right now. I'm able to get that deny on XM, but BZM still very, very low, playing against the 2 points in Dagger, Queen of Pain. And you can see that's going to the tune of 12 and 5 for XM.
And you can see he's not even trying to force this, right? Like
Yeah.
XM's low there, he's got a blink. He's thinking of some stuff there, but there's an enchant totem, there's creep waves. Like, why not just secure the runes and guarantee that he's just gonna have to leave?
Yeah, they don't have to necessarily play as aggressively as they want to. Oh, Sync Q, XXS, battling out in the lane that we have not seen a ton of, and they can't get in rune range quickly enough to contest for that Lotus. And so a little bit of the disparity from last game, it is XG that instead is winning across all 3 of their lanes, and 2 of them in a pretty good fashion. That Clink's 13 and 6 right now versus the 10 and 3 for the Sand King. I do have a feeling Tundra are not going to stack 0 camps by like 15 minutes.
Yeah, certainly not. Yeah, they're definitely going to be getting the stacks on for the Sand King. It is a necessity when you're playing it in the off lane. You know, we get these mid Sand Kings. They just work the camps nearby. It doesn't even have to stack it too much because you can just grab 2, farm it up, stack when you can. But for the off lane, you need those stacks if you want to propel into these important items to get your game going.
XXS.
In this case, a help.
Right. Yeah,
Hey,
XXS.
remember, the panel was like, I think they could use a help hero. And oh, they're gonna pick Sand King. That's not a help hero. Aha.
Yeah. Well, also Slardo, the other one that is going for it. So
Yeah.
every hero, Helm hero, as we've come to expect. I'll also mention, between all of the heroes that XG has, insane amounts of physical damage coming out later.
Yes.
Obviously there's Ame, but you also have a Slardar, and then even if the Hoodwink, if you start to get some more, items up on Zinq, and that's definitely a player that loves to farm.
He's warming up here on the Bushwhacks, as you can see. This looks like a really annoying lane for a Slardar, I gotta say. You like to be a bully, and obviously he's doing very well, but Chrysalis also still at 21 CS, and you know you're dealing with D-Crap potentially, doesn't have a point in it yet, and also just the ability to shield and kind of turn that damage back on you, so he's not able to shut down his opponent as much as he'd like to, as we tend to think of Slardar as more of like this anti-carry, where like you're played into this lane to also slow down your opponent.
Short disconnect here, Saksa. It's the pause going for himself, and I would imagine that pretty soon he's going to be making that move back into the jungle that we've come to expect from him, stacking up camps and making sure that they're off to a decent start. Likewise, you can see Zinq already heading back that way as he's very low on HP, and will just
Queue
regen
up.
a little bit as he goes.
He queued up like 8,000 observers, but now he's changed his mind. Gonna go for a wand into some arcane boots, pretty standard stuff. Can they contest these stacks though? Probably not this game, eh? For XG?
I mean, yeah, it seems a little bit... I feel like you can contest. I don't think you can take. You know what I mean?
Yes, yeah. You could definitely target him for sure. Like you get an obs in there, you see when he's going for these stacks, you can definitely come in, throw out a Sonic Wave, and maybe grab a cheeky kill.
3 points up in Dagger as we get back into the game. Zinq is going to stack that camp up and head back. Oh, come on. Look, they don't even know how to do it. They're like, this is not our meta. We're just off fighting instead.
Man, usually, sometimes the 3-point stagger is a scary thing because it really hurts your rotations in a lot of games because you don't have earlier access to burst damage from the Scream of Pain. But versus a Shaker mid, this is hurting. Like, BCM is just constantly off the wave. He is a Fisher for CS. It is not feeling great. He is the lowest of the cores in terms of last hits. And he doesn't really have an ability to jungle yet. So we're talking about these stacks for the Sand King. We're going to need him for BZM.
Oh, and they glyph, they bring him low. The cookie to try and get away, but he is going to die to XM.
He knew he was dead.
Yeah.
I think the second he got hit by the Shadow Ward, he just started going in knowing he was going down.
So they managed to find the kill on the Shaker right before the 6-minute mark, too. So this could also be a clutch.
Look at X-Nova and Soxa, though. They're battling right now. X-Nova comes in. He does not try and body block, but all right. I thought he was going to try and stop that spawn from happening. I was too worried about potentially dying there versus Soxa, so he lets it go.
And XM is the one that is going to be benefiting from that, picking up a shield rune now. So I'm not sure what you do at this point as the Shaker. Because everything feels bad.
Yeah, this is not great. He looks more like that position 4 Shaker right now or something, but he does have a stack here. So he can start working on that a little bit. But yeah, it's not great. Sox is going to hold the wave. There's an OBS in behind the tier 1 tower planted by XinQ that's going to allow all these opportunities for ganks. It's a very scary place to try and play versus 3-point stagger and a potential Sonic Wave.
And this type of bullying behavior is what you want to see if you're an XG fan. On the other side, for Tundra, take away their abilities to bully you back. 33's got to get off to a decent start with this helm and is trying to finish that one off and maybe try and push this Clinks out of the base. At the very least, Clinks can't eat your creep anymore.
I know, right? Like, this hero would be crazy if you could eat helm creeps. Unfortunately, not a thing since they've become creep heroes, and partially why we're seeing them everywhere.
So while the CS starts to stack up, it's really 2 that stand a little bit above right now in the Clinks and the Quap, with Sand King and Abba still having a good time. And as we get to that 7-minute mark, did get the Shrine for each. And Toby trying to actually step forward and stop any extra passive pressure from the creeps heading his way. Oh man, dude.
Again, X-Nova just walking in here trying to disrupt these stacks. They know, right?
Yeah.
Like, all the Shaker wants to do is get this big stack going so he can come in and dunk on this. And he's going to interrupt at least one of them. It was close. Hamels managed to get it still. But actually, the Ancients get messed up too. So neither camp stacks.
Really well played by X-Nova and Toby.
2-3-3
underneath. The bushwhack is there, and Sonic Wave for the finish.
All right, meanwhile, Ame's walking into a sentry here, and he just eats the creep.
And he's going to take some of them away. I mean, if X-Nova dies here, it's not the end of the world. If XM does, that's very bad. And so they're going to back away. Giving a little bit of space now for BZM.
He has nothing. There is no piggy bank, you know? You thought your parents left you an education fund, but they spent it all on your brother. He's got nothing left. Like, what is there here, you know? And 3-3 came over, took one of the creeps with his helm. Ame came and ate the other, you know? It's just, it's truly a zoomer. The previous generations are just taking it off.
BZM trying to find anything for himself here. Does have, at the very least, level 6.
So you can see that camp blocked in the back.
God. They're just making his life miserable.
They're bringing him the helm creeps. 3-3 is bringing him a creep wave. This is where we're at. He walked a creep wave to BZM in the jungle.
Toby, underneath his own ward, is trying to back away. And yeah, they did bring over a creep wave to make sure that they could get a little bit of extra farm towards BZM. Now, a kill here onto the Hoodwink with the Helm Creep helping might actually help be decent for him. But instead, I kind of wonder if he's going to end up in further trouble. They dropped the golem on him! Have some mercy! Poor BZM. Will he be able to get out of there? A Photic Shield. XM still on the chase. He's bottling up and finally getting a little bit of help.
Again, though, this is constant. The pressure on the other side of the map, Ame always takes advantage. He's very good at this. It's a lot of pressure onto this tower. But once again, it is Ame at the top of the board at the 10-minute mark. He has all the space in the world down bottom. This is a consistent theme that we are getting from XG.
Surrounded now. XM playing in mid with Soxa nearby. And though they did not get the kill with the Golem, they are going to get the tower with it.
Yeah, that ward lasting the entire time as well. So much value, giving them this capability to take this. I gotta say, the tower lasted longer than I expected. Oh no, not again. Not his little piggy bank.
Jumps in, finds it. BZM might need to get denied, and it's not enough. No! Soxa not able to take down his buddy, and in fact, could be in further trouble. Zinq doesn't get any bounces out though. And yeah, there's still...
I think he got a glancing shot, because that only did 17 damage. That attempted deny on the So I think the innate screwed him there.
Oh, the innate got him.
Yeah.
Oh, that's very frustrating. Yeah.
Good old stab.
Well, we said that we thought they could contest. We weren't sure if they could steal them. They're making an attempt at it right now. BZM still has Echo at the ready.
Oh, you don't want to share this XP though.
Yeah, that's true too.
Even to your allies, like, guys, can you guys leave? But he just has to go for it. He needs the protection.
A wise decision, and trying to get some more gold into BZM here.
Lyrical, he is 2,000 gold behind the next nearest core.
Yeah, it's been an impossibility. And this was a first pick XM here too. On the Queen of Pain, they weren't able to draft things to help move over and shut him down more. It was just a complete answer the whole way through.
Yeah, they're going to have to find a different hero to lead the charge here. Now, you know, we've talked a lot about Ame farming up here. Crystal's not doing too bad. He is behind, but he is going to try and rush into that Radiance as XM continues to exert this pressure mid lane. Tower here or gone or not, he's sticking around. He's decided this is the part of the map he wants to play to open up the room on the side lanes.
You know, it's interesting too, right? Because people often talk about Quap not being able to rotate effectively with 3 points and dagger, but instead he says, fine, you guys rotate to me and we'll take that tower and then make everything else feel bad for Tundra. Yeah, they're at 4K gold leave at 12 minutes.
Yeah, when it's such a specific hero that you can target with the dagger like the Shaker and make his life so miserable, it is very, very worth it. And amping up that physical damage that you can see will be a concern throughout this game will be that Deso.
Yes.
So, Slardar, Deso, one of Clinks. It's going to be a lot.
It's Blade Mail for XM. Choice for this one. Toby back at base thinking about where can I go? What's the play next for him? At the very least, BZM has another tower to play behind, so harder to dive and kill the Shaker, but not impossible, as XXS takes the top one. And queuing up a pipe. I don't think I've ever seen a build like this out of Slardar before, but it is awesome.
Dude, BZM's tilted. He just body blocked his own camp. I mean, he's having a hard time, dude. It's not good. Like, walking through your own camp spot in this situation. Meanwhile, the enemy carry is picking up 3 bounty runes. That just shows what, like, they create this just wilderness zone that no one wants to go into except Ame. It's like a private resort just for him. The bottom lane every game.
Ame's area, that's what they'll call it. They need to find a kill on him though, because he's gonna start taking off like crazy. And instead they have to deal with this. XM runs in and you have to keep Toby nearby because otherwise BZM's just dead. They're gonna try and make something happen bottom now against the Clinks. Do they have enough for a kill? He summons, he's trying to stay alive, not enough.
That was kind of terrifying how long it took, but he does go down. Will there be revenge?
An attempt at one at the very least. Bro strike to back away, and it looks like it's not gonna work.
Yeah.
So a nice play by Tundra, managing to take down Ame. Still 5K behind, but some signs of life.
Yeah, good positioning there from 3-3 to evade any sort of a bushwhack play there by using his Burrow Strike when he did. And Zinq knew it too. Didn't have an option to get him.
On the other side, you've got Chrysalis here, who's been relatively quiet, but working on a Radiance. And BZM finally has that Blink Dagger done.
At level 8.
Yeah.
That's the downside, right? Like,
you're not wrong.
Unfortunately, you just don't have a whole lot to offer at this point. Like, he's the same level as Soxa. There we go.
I mean, he's going to have to make back up that deficit by virtue of finding kills and finding good fights.
Ooh, or another big set of stacks here. Okay.
Oh, that's good.
Oh,
That would actually
awkward
be
moment here.
huge.
2 cores. It's like, okay.
Well, they're going to stack again, but yeah, I feel like injecting this into the BZM would be a really big win. And 33, never mind. It would be a really big win for 33 too to get all this gold. You got your blink already.
Yeah, listen, one of us is having a game here, okay? Just let me take care of this.
Still just 2 stacked on the side of XG. I mean, the other thing to keep in mind, right, is that while we did see Clink stay alive for a while there, if 33 was there, a lot of like his survivability came by casting spells, and there's a decent chance they can just stun lock him.
That's true. Yep. It can happen if we can catch back up here. It makes me think of the FE voice line. You know, I'm farming lane because I'm a winner.
Oh, okay.
You know, that's XG right now.
Got
Now
it.
stacks, you know, I don't care stacks, right? They're just camping all 3 lanes, farming up like crazy. So all of their last hits are mega value.
Going in now. Chrysalis forced to pop ulti, and the TPs come in. Are they going to go for more? Soxa nearby, thinking about it, hunting to the side. Toby decreps himself. That is the Radiance, assembled by Chrysalis.
Will
And
he
with
be the
rotations.
Avenger? That is the question with Set Radiance.
Yeah. It's a tough one. Force a lot of rotations and then back in.
XM mid lane, Arcane, amplify damage room.
Yeah, good blink away there by BZM before things went south. And maybe 33, he waited a second.
XX has confused as to what hero he's playing, picks up the pipe. So his Helm Pipe Slardar ready to take over this game. It's great itemization in this match. It's really, he is just playing for his ult to help with the damage and then just control.
First time this tournament, it makes sense, and it's the perfect item. The question is, if you start losing out at this point, if you lose a fight or two because of some chaos happening, how well is this hero going to be scaling? I mean, you've still got the Helm.
They're very good at forcing towers right now, but if they were like, let's say, trying to hunt for a 5v5 fight, they don't really have very good tools for it right now, right?
No.
It would be like Bushwhack or just a Golem drop, whereas we have Blink Sand King.
Control, kisses, done. XM is out of there. That is exactly what they needed, and now 33 trying to find X Nova, who is pretty quick in the river, but with Blink Dagger back up in 8 burrow strikes, trying to stay on target. Bushwhack stops it. BZM Fissure, they miss off to the
50-50.
side. Oh, he's getting out. 33, he doesn't have anything for him. And so they do manage to TP out with X Nova, but the kill on XM.
Yeah, very, very important. And I mean, it comes back to what we were just literally just talking about as it happened. They have great ways to start fights this time. Right, we have the blink on the Sand King, we have the blink on the Shaker. We're gonna have these cookie plays, and then you can defend your towers with your kisses. It is risky to push into it, which is what they're trying to do with the pipe, but immediately losing your Queen of Pain like that kind of makes you look at your pipe and be like, oh, well, that wasn't great.
Ame runs into BZM, spots him, and oh, that is not feeling good for Tundra.
Yeah, you heard this brought up on the panel, but Klinks, although we don't see him very often, it is one of the heroes that just has the most insane amount of burst damage if he's allowed to just swing. And when you think about how XG has played this whole tournament, the best thing that they do is enable Ame. So
Yes.
giving him the full-on glass cannon of Klinks seems like a pretty solid strategy from them.
This gold lead staying steady, though. That's something that has also been a constant at this tournament, that even when teams are behind, they have found ways to keep farming, to stay relevant in the game, and to extend the duration. And, well, now, these types of kills start to hurt a whole heck of a lot. Ame goes down again.
Ooh, a rare mistake there from Ame, pushing out a little bit too much, maybe incorrect read as to where they are moving on the map. He tends to play just like so defensively.
I mean, Ame is 3 of their deaths in this game.
That's 75% Lyrical.
I thought it's half.
Yes, you're right. I was looking at the wrong column. Yeah. I thought I really nailed my math for a second there.
That's, I mean, when you think
It's tough out here, you know.
I hear ya. When I think back to the beginning of this tournament and, you know, the way that Ame had started it, it really feels like so many of the games of XG have been in response to those early days and how well he did, where people like are explicitly going out and saying, I'm here just to kill Ame.
That has only grown now. Yeah,
Yes.
that's right. after the Road the International. All right, some obs down here spawning some of this movement by Tundra. They scan, saying, hey, I think they're going to do a 20-minute Tormentor, guys. Just this feeling I have.
The creep is in. XXS, no blink dagger.
Ame's coming.
No, he did have it. He got it back up in time. Now Sonic Wave. Chrysalis low, but not dead yet. He's broken. Forced to pop the ultimate. Now kisses from Saksa. Do they have enough damage? Ame spots them. Immediately blows up.
Oh, wait, no.
Fire. No, he gets the cookie off. And then broke straight through. 33 says no. But big hit down from X-Nova. Can they take down the Sand King? Fisher immediately breaks off the burrow.
They need XM.
And now XM low, dead.
Oh,
XM dead.
baby.
All the X's are fallen. There's nowhere left to go. As Slardar 2 is going to die. What a beautiful setup from Tundra.
Oh, that's exactly how they need these fights to go for Tundra, right? Like, that ulti looked very dangerous for Chrysalis. He was forced to pop it because of the break. He was a little bit nervous there, so he just goes for it. They completely stop hitting him. He gets almost no heals off the ulti. And then you're worried about the reboost from XG. But just that little bit of survival on Saksa to get the cookie stun onto Ame gives them that kill. And then a delayed fight, the burn of the Radiance going the entire time, and BCM finally getting his revenge after that mid lane.
So we take a look at this, the full breakdown of the view. I mean, again, at the beginning, you see Tundra, not as much HP, not as tanky, they don't have the pipe.
They kite the ABBA ulti, and then this play.
How did he not die? The Decrep coming in saved his life before he got burned.
And there, it looked pretty dangerous with that ulti too. You see there's chase down sliders coming in, but the Fisher block even to help protect 3-3. I mean, that's beautiful stuff right there.
What a sick play. And in the end, it is Tundra that reigns supreme and able to survive through all of this. And some of it being that ABBA just making the difference there.
Yeah, and that's going to help him a lot. I mean, that is a fully finished Manta now for Chrysalis as he takes the top slot here over Ame in terms of gold. Now eyes will start to move to the Roche Pit. Likely the next goal you're hoping for on these teams. Particularly XG, of course.
Yes.
They can just do it instantly if they ever get the moment.
That's the thing that I think is going to be tough for Tundra is keeping an eye on that Roche Pit while making sure that, you know, Ame doesn't have a few seconds just to get away and start taking it.
Yeah.
And he's working on a BKB, 2 components of it. He shows over there to the side and immediately look at all of Tundra running towards Ame.
I mean, he has his own obs, right? He feels a little bit safe here. Now there's a scam. They know they're coming through.
They see him. He's in trouble. Ame again. A 5th death.
Yeah, but he gets that last hit. So, 50 gold going back his way. I mean, someone on the Radiant team was like, bro, they're coming. They scan next to him. It turns red, and he's like, well, I'm still just dead, guys. I don't know what to tell you.
Wow.
He's trying to make a little bit more space here in this game, and he's getting punished for it.
I mean, again, when you've got the Slardar that goes first 2 items, helm, pipe, it sort of puts a target on everybody else's back in a way.
BZM and
crush here.
Yeah.
Still taking a while to take down Saksa, but they do eventually get the Snapfire.
But there's that situation where they don't have Ame up, so they can't just move in towards the Roche Pit or something, even though they get a kill kind of nearby. They got to just wait for him. Come back in this game, and look over towards BZM. He's thinking about finishing up a Yashikaya here, just for some general, you know, mobility, gameplay, spellcasting, all those nice things for a Shaker. But he's not going to have a BKB anytime soon.
No.
I mean, he's got problems, right? You think about a BKB with Shaker, you think, oh, nice, like good mobility in the team fights, lets you get off your spells, but then you look at this, you're like, oh, there's a Slardar. There's the damage from the Clinks. You know, there's Warlock ulti. There's a lot of issues with BKB.
Yeah, there's massive physical damage in this game coming from the side of XG. And I will also say, sort of like, when you've got so much burst on XG and you've got like the ABBA on the other side, Chrysalis could be that like sort of key central bit to this fight that can make things work. Because I think that they were hoping to blow up the ABBA in the duration of a sharpshooter.
Yeah.
And it hasn't really happened. He's been able to get his ultis off twice when he's broken.
And the other issue is that your Slider just needs like every item in the game. Because he went for this Helm Pipe, he still needs Blink. He still needs BKB, and they desperately need a Nullifier.
He does have Blink now, but yeah.
Yes, yeah, you know, but I just mean like all of these items combined.
Right. Afterwards. It takes longer to come online as Xingqiu dies to 33. A lot of pick-off.
And you don't have full confidence in these engagements until you have a Nullifier on your team.
Yeah.
Right? Because they're building Ghost Scepters and they have the puck.
Chrysalis, Ame ships in the night, passing by, BKB done. And that should stop. I mean, he could still hit Shane stuns. Like, that's the problem.
Yep.
Gonna go for the Nullifier next, as Roche heads up to the north. Not as much vision around that area for a potential fight.
It's a very small lead right now. It's mostly just the idea of like Roche is what it comes down to, is they kill a creep down bottom while scamming the Roche pit.
Right, they're ganking creeps. They're ganking up creeps.
That is but the reality we live in, Lyrical.
That's right.
That's where we're at right now.
Sand King does have Aghanim Scepter.
That's a lot of damage.
And Tier 1 tower is still alive for XG. Also Aghanim Scepter done on Quap a little while ago.
A haste rune here. They're going to give it to Chrysalis, and he's running in.
They want to take down this tower before a Roche fight comes in, so it's harder to reinforce.
3-3. He's winding up. He's thinking about it just in case.
A nice play right there. But now you know what's happening. And 33, does he catch sight of anybody? They're ready to jump at a moment's notice. XM is there.
They want this.
He's thinking about it. He's going in. 33, Blink, Burrow. How much they have? The Crush interrupts, but there's the Golem down too, and XM, he gets out. Broken. Brought down low. 33 in trouble now. Great play by XXS to interrupt the jump, as XG planned that out perfectly and dodged from the damage.
Wait, there's no BKB here.
Never mind, they're in trouble now, and now XXS is the one running into kisses. Do they have enough damage to blow him up? Hits from low, the control is there, but XXS he actually gets out.
They didn't dunk. BZM saved it.
They did decide to go in, and now XM, oh, they're all fatal bound together. They're taking so much damage on the side of Tundra. Starting to die, Chrysalis needs to get out, but there's nowhere to go. Another 4 down.
Once again, it's just the first Roche. It's all these ideas around the first Roche that spelled disaster for Tundra. It's just like game one. If they were able to secure it, they have a nice path, and you can see the vision and where to go. And this time, they try and go a little aggressive, right? It all starts with this attempted epicenter under the tier 2 tower. And then back to here too when they try and get this kill. So this is no BKB Slider. It's already been used. The kiss they're coming down. BZM blinks in right here, but he doesn't want to echo. He says, you know, he doesn't think it's going to be enough. And instead, now they get no opportunity for it. And then you just get XSS coming back in here without pow, pow, easy crush.
And as soon as those, fatal bonds are out, it just shuts down any chance of a reinitiation from BZM at that point too. There's just nothing else that you can do right there.
Yeah, and now that's going to be Ame here. Has his BKB, has an Aegis, and is 500 gold away from a Nullifier.
Well, we have one big fight that goes the way of Tundra, another now going the way of XG. Still not a meaningful separation between these two squads. It's like an item difference. You're sitting 3,000 gold on Ame. They're basically equal. So I feel like there's got to be some more type of a battle coming from Tundra. They're probably going to wait for their next timing too, though.
Yeah, we're going to get back to dodging here. Not the best lineup necessarily on Tundra for just pulling waves and playing super safe. You do have the full bore on the snap, which is nice. So blasting away and cooking. Pretty solid hero with your shard too to clear the waves. Shaker, probably one of the best heroes in the entire game at this with the shard and the fishers. You can keep things down. But, we have jump. We have this spooky, scary skeleton guy. So it's not a super simple proposition to be pushing these out as Tundra.
A bunch of the whispers of the dread coming out. Everybody looking for spell amp and ways to burst. And it feels like those spells to save are going to be at a premium in this one.
Yeah, well, at least it doesn't reduce your nighttime vision. So
true.
They're safe for now.
30-minute mark. Saksa not going to get caught. Success blinks right on top of where he was. And likely going to be looking for another chance at the Tormentor here in a moment. Another amp damage for XG. Toby making the big run in, and, well, he gets punished for that one.
It's a bold move.
Yeah, a little bit.
Boots of Travel finished for BZM, so wants to be able to capitalize on the opportunity they can find on these side lanes as Ame, whoa!
Nullifier out. No chance. Yeah, that is an interesting one, too. Just saw that on Hoodwink finished off the Mage Slayer. So pretty annoying to deal with for Sand King.
Sand King, even just like everyone,
Yeah.
really, it's truly everyone. So we're going to be watching those bounces on the Acorn. Not many heroes, of course, that can hit multiple with the Mage Slayer, but Hoodwink is one of them, so you get the debuff on multiple people, feels great. But it does only last for 3 seconds now. It's not as crazy as it used to be.
Ame under a ward. But with the rest of the team coming in behind, he is going to show for a moment and then actually take down that tower. This is Clinks. This is the problem. Look at how quickly that fell.
Yeah. It is very, very fearful.
Gonna need to make use of the mass magic damage that you have on the side of Tundra and hope that's enough to burst him. Obviously, they're gonna need to do it twice right now with the Aegis. 1:30 left on that one. As XG head up to the north and get themselves ready for a Tormentor.
What? Where?
Yeah.
Immediately gone here as the Shark goes to X-Nova. And Tundra just continue to dodge as much as they can right now. I mean, attempted Nullifier for 3-3 could be something. The Bloodthorn for Chrysalis is probably their best chance to at least get a full chain stun kill and just kill as fast as possible.
Man, it really is something else. Ame, like, he has died the most in this game and is the top net worth on Clinks. Like, he's died more than the person that's died the most at the tournament so far in this game. He's still just making it happen. Daedalus close to being completed. At 9,000 gold lead as XG ready to battle.
Yeah, look at this. They scan the high ground. They just want to run in, take over this area.
Counterplay coming from Tundra sometime soon. They're almost at a Nullifier for 33. Meanwhile, Bloodthorn is going to be the call for Ava. Still a little ways away from that one being done. But Chrysalis, not sure if they recognize where he's over here or not, but it's going to blink out. That's your 2 tower taken now bottom as well. 33 under the ward. And I guess they can just feel safe now, spreading out, farming away because they see that 33 is there. They know that there's no chance that he's setting up to kill anybody else. He's just trying to finish off his item.
Yeah, exactly. They're just going to wait it out. It would be nice if Tundra was able to get some better vision out with a gem, but it's just so risky. Ideally, you manage to kill this Warlock, you know, maybe steal it from X-Nova. That'd be a great target for him to grab one of these pickoffs, but he's obviously playing very far back and quite safe.
All right, a couple of items done. And the team grouping together down on the bottom side of the map around the Bloodthorn, around the Nullifier. And an opportunity here. They find him. Xingqiu caught. Out a bit too far. Brought down.
Yeah, Chrysalis has been very cautious to ensure that he's always bringing dust. He's got another one flying out right away. Does not want to let these kills go by.
You can see, though they are down 9K, Tundra's still very capable of pushing. It's not quite as quick as the Clinks.
Pretty fast, though. Pretty good.
They get it done.
Yeah. As we get an Aghanim's Scepter picked up for XXS. I was a little surprised by this. I thought maybe stacking Nullifiers might be the way to go here. But instead, said, obviously it's a very, very good item on starter. It just helps you out so much whenever you're in your puddles or trail or a river. Just gives you so many bonuses, it's pretty ridiculous. I'm just gonna try and ensure that he doesn't get chain stun down. He's always got opportunities to go for his hits, get off his items as they hop onto Chrysalis here with the BKB from Ame even.
Use that. Yeah,
Is that a
big commitment.
Is that a fat finger?
Up a little bit north too. They find 33. Throws out the sharpshooter, nothing there. But with no BKB on Ame, I feel like this could be a go.
Yeah, that is a big opening right now. I think for sure BZM is hunting. He's leading the way. He's angry.
Oh my
Hasn't had the funnest game.
And they're hunting down bottom. Okay, no, but Ame's backing out.
Good choice.
Yeah, realizing that that would go south very quickly.
Unfortunately, it's hard to go on this hunt without a gem. You know?
True.
Very scary. You don't want to be walking through these wards and potentially through the clinks, not knowing where he's at.
Well, 12 to 14. And while the smoke does not connect onto anybody for Tundra, they do get another chance to push out their waves. XXS is showing it mid. Ame still has no BKB for another 40 seconds if something were to pop off.
So if the Roche were to spawn instantly in 7 seconds, it would be extremely good for Tundra.
Well, I don't even know about that
Oh,
necessarily.
Soxa is getting really aggressive. He goes, that's a greedy ward, my man.
Able to take
He
it
will
away.
take down the sentry, but
Hey,
obviously
waits another one.
he tries to get the deny. Wait, did he?
Yeah, he did.
Oh, he did get it. Nicely played. It is not an instant Roche. It is a max Roche by the looks of that clock, I would say.
Wow. Okay.
And it is like 3 full minutes, man.
All right, we're chilling here. Now, the flip side of that, too, is that I feel like there's still a potential that you could get into a big fight. It does also mean that Roche is probably going to be moving down bottom by the time something else is happening. No TA in this game, so neither team is fully aware of what time it's going to respawn at.
That's true.
But the wave shove is going to happen. And even though it's that 17 goal lead, the win probability is still very even between these two squads.
I feel like the gem advantage is just so good in this situation. Like just moving across the map right now, they put it on XM so we can just move across there as, yeah, Dota Plus refusing to give up on Tundra today.
Favored him last time too. Exterior neutrals out. Getting some pure cloaks. That's actually kind of sick against Clinks.
Yes, it can turn south very, very quickly.
Interesting. He does have like decent armor on Clinks.
Oh, the Radiant scan. Oh, look at this. Okay, so 3-3 has the Helm creep in the Roach pit, which registers as a hero. So then XXS has to send his creep in, which means now if they scan the pit, you know.
Yeah, they're going to be aware. Okay. Good
Now,
to know.
keep in mind, you know how they changed the vision around Roche?
Yeah.
Right now, XSS doesn't actually see 3-3's creep. So he's actually still in one of those spots. So he's got a very sneaky creep placement where that creep can actually see inside the Roche pit, but when you're inside the Roche pit, you don't see that creep.
Could be very important how
Yeah.
this plays out. XM.
The rune spot.
Oh, that is. Oh. Oh, jeez.
All right, there's a call from Xnova. He wants to wrap around.
Again, they don't know yet. Roche not up. It's going to be up very shortly. That is a Lotus now done again for XXS this game.
Yeah, no more Helm shenanigans. He's fully sold it? I guess.
I think so.
I thought maybe just backpacking it, but no, he's just done. He wants his Lotus, he wants to play. He's done microwave. He wants to work on his own hero, you know?
When I think of XXS, I think of like Mars, Magnus. He's not a micro guy.
Here comes the Croaker.
So second Roche up, wrapping
wait.
behind.
They see the creep moving. They know someone was here. All right, now there's really good heroes to get first and really, really bad ones like Abba, right? Unless they can fold a 0 up. Can they do it?
Can they blow him up in time? Looking for it. He's broken, but he gets the ulti off. And that stops it.
That's a free reset, but that's 65 seconds of no ulti. So that does take away one of the good conditions of an engagement for Tundra, which is they go on Abba first.
And it basically cost them nothing.
Yeah.
It's the other issue.
I mean, pipe, I guess. You know.
That's true.
Croaker coming in, congregating, Tendril of the Deeping even.
And they're just going to start taking it. 33 sees this, though. His creep is gone. X-Nova, Glimmer walks away. BZM throws out the fissure.
Xinq's just coming up. Hello?
A chance.
Little poke.
Ended up hitting him for a moment. XM also jumps, but not able to connect as 33 did
All right,
back
there's only
away.
10 seconds here. Rogue's just going to migrate.
Yeah, and now he's going to get fissure blocked.
Oh,
I'm
he
not sure
doesn't
what's
like
going to happen.
that.
XM is right there to the side. 33 gets caught, but the reaction from XM.
Wait, he's alive.
He's staying alive. Able to get it off the Lotus. Keeping him back and low, but dead afterwards. XXS puts the kibosh on that. And Chrysalis, now in more of a world of hurt, is going to start to fall ethereal form for a bit longer. But in the end, it is going to be a dead ABBA. And hunting down Toby, hides off to the side, ethereal form, no way to break it.
Do you know what's crazy? Is that he didn't have ulti as that sharpshooter was coming in. His ally died and gave him ulti from his facet.
Ame moves back, but no. Comes in, shuts down the captain, 33 to fall, and XG ready to run away with this game number 2.
Just, I mean, everything going their way. But, like, what more is it, you know? They jump in there. At first you think, like, oh, there's a heal. You know, maybe they can turn it with the shaker, but they just never find these opportunities. And just instant roaching. Zero chance of contest here. And yeah, this is where it starts, right? Like, on to BZM. What is the heal here? Did someone pass him a Lotus or something?
Yeah, it must have been. Regardless, you could see also the just swing that came in as soon as 33 burrow strength, and then the reaction of the BKB from Quab shut that stuff down completely. And I mean, now that you lose this fight like this, you get the Aegis ready to start going high ground. I mean, there's got to be some answers to it, but you don't have buyback. You don't want a buyback
their
on
spirit,
Sandking.
their spirit is broken like their base. I mean, that wasn't even a fight. It was just simply a massacre. The comms are quiet right now, you know?
And another tier 3 tower going to be hit.
They're TPing in with BZM. They're going to try something.
Does he have the range? The creeps are starting to walk forward, but Ame just backs away. Now the jump finds Chrysalis. BZM waiting for his moment, waiting. There's a fissure block. XXS is stuck.
He wants Ame, but he's just not coming in.
And the cookie, but there's the BKB reaction.
Look,
and a
Ame's just
bash.
running.
A chance? Sonic Wave 33 can't chase now. No Blink Dagger available. XM, he's fine too, gets the blink out, and after just destroying that base, are gonna freely walk away. Full 2 sets of racks.
And they've still got Law, right? They're just walking out with this Aegis and only a single lane now to try and keep alive for Tundra. Their last hopes here in the upper bracket.
XG. If there were any questions about if this team was for real going into the main event, they have been answered at this point. They have looked so good. And now an active scepter done for the Clinks. They're doing it with the weird heroes. You love it.
It's so much damage, man. The Burning Army comes out. It already is a lot of damage, but now this is that safe damage, the way he's been playing, right? He can just chuck this out.
Does also get increased hits to kill the skeleton archers when you pick up that Aghanim Scepter. So big range, drop it down, say come and fight us in this, which is even harder to do now because they're going to be breaking blink daggers of Sand King and Earthshaker.
Yeah, who've already struggled, of course. Let's try and find these plays in. But you know, he doesn't have buyback.
That's true.
So, kill him twice, you won't have to kill him a third time. At least there's that.
Tundra. How many more tricks they have up their sleeves? Ame is there, channels ton of damage onto the ABBA, and then he's forced to back away. I'm not sure what the right answer is at this point for them. They're down so much gold. And it feels like the fights have just not gone their way at all. And look at this. XM just blinks right in the middle of everybody here. They find Toby, and he is going to end up dying for his troubles.
And look at this. XM scouts the Amplify damage rune too.
And there, Soxa dying. Woo, buddy.
All right, I've now seen an Outworld staff actually save someone.
short glass game there. Oh, he went all in. He bought a refresher on Shaker. This is going to be a reveal. They jump in, burrow strike. Do they have enough control? Wanting to kill Ame. He's not dead. He's not going down. Ame Clink survives through it. He held onto his BKB that entire time, and now BZM is going to be the one that's caught instead. Still everybody from Tundra alive. Unfortunately, their base not so lucky.
No, that's mega creeps. And could you even want to go into this mess?
I mean, you've got to do something. You've got to find a way to punish, but the damage is just not there, and BZM's so low. XXS jumps forward. There's the epicenter. It's hitting onto nobody. They do burrow strike, though, and now it starts to click away slightly, but the damage is too much. Ame, he stands tall despite the early deaths, taking out hero after hero. Another burrow strike used, but look at the Clinks. The Skeleton Man is doing way too much damage as they find a triple kill. Looking for 4. Can they get it? Ame instead gets the nullifier out. There's another combination. Damage, maybe? No! They're not going to kill him! Ame is too damn strong! They take down 2 without buyback. GG is called. XG, they came to play.
The streak will continue for XG, undefeated in series on the road to the International, and they're going to keep that up here as they take our first series on the main stage, stay in the upper bracket.
Continuing on through the upper bracket, and for a team that it looked so good and felt like they were, on the verge of making things happen, even with the stand-in, it's just one of those things that couldn't come together in the end. So impressive, this XG team, because you think about that game number 1 again, and how things could have gone different if not for that Roche fight.
Even game number 2, I mean, again, it's the same thing where they have this advantage a little bit there on Tundra, and you're thinking, okay, we're seeing it, this could be the play that they get where they actually make their way through this game, get a little bit of a surprise upset, but no, XG, they just slam the door in their face and say, no, we're the favorites for a good reason.
Absolutely, the favorites make their way out of the stage, and for Tundra, they're going to have to forge a new path through that lower bracket, come up with some other answers. They're going to want to move on in this tournament. But XG, the ones that come out on top in this first series, what a performance from them on the main stage. Trent, I mean, the other thing to think about with this is, I mean, how worried are you going up against this XG team for the next squad?
Well, if you were thinking things like, well, there's not that much data on them. They haven't played that many series. We'll just wait. And maybe we can learn some more. I don't know what there is to learn. I've just learned that they're even more frightening than I thought after that game 1. So if I'm their next opponents, I'm just thinking, like, what is it? What is the solution? Because they tried playing a little fast. They went for this insta-Lycan. That didn't work, right? They got this big early lead on Tundra, but they're able to fight back on XG. They're so good at picking these team fights, very much like team spirit style, right? No matter how far down they are, they know the exact moment when to strike.
It's been so long for XG coming together here on the main stage. They forgot, we gotta go over and shake hands as well, so they come back in, give a handshake there, and of course Tundra dropping down to that lower bracket, but the fans loving it here out in the squad. XG taking that 1 victory there, and again, I mean, for Tundra, you kind of got to reset yourself because they came in on a high.
Yeah, they did, right? They got an amazing win versus Liquid. They're feeling a little bit better. It feels like the team's starting to come together a little bit. And unfortunately, after all that hard work, you go up against the titan of the event so far, right? So you obviously have some players who are very familiar with going for long journeys at the International, so I'm sure that they're going to be able to talk the team, figure that out. They have a great coach in Moomiander, who's also been going through this a lot. And, they've also had standard issues before in terms of having to bring someone extra to the event. So don't count them out yet, right? It's a very tough opponent. And I'm sure that they will find their footing as they move to the lower bracket.
And of course, a type of event like this, where it's one of those moments where anything could sort of happen as you move through, because it's a squad that's going to gain more momentum as time goes out, as we have a chance now to get onto the stage and hear from our victors.
Thank you, Trent and Liverpool. Yeah, fantastic to be here at TI with Ame on the main stage. It's a fantastic way to start the show. Great opening and a great series. Ame, that was a very impressive game 1 victory. Does it feel good to be back on the stage at TI?
觉得回到 TI 的舞台感觉怎么样呢？
It feels pretty good.
Fair enough. You guys played fantastic, so I guess it does. There were a few mistakes from both teams in game one. Do you feel that was nerves coming into TI?
在第一把的时候，双方都有一些小失误，你觉得是紧张呢，还是有别的原因呢？
主要狼人比较难处理吧，所以一来打的就比较艰难。
Because Lycan was a bit harder to deal with, that's why game one was a bit more challenging.
Fair enough. And I've got a question about Clinks. We haven't seen Clinks yet in the tournament. Would you have picked this hero if you hadn't won the first game of this series, or was it something you were very confident with?
我们想问一下克林克斯小苦工这个英雄，如果第一把没赢的话，你们还是会选这个英雄的吗？
就看情况选吧，觉得他好用就选。
It depends on the situation. If he's good, we'll pick him.
If he's good, he's good. Fair enough. And last thing, there's a lot of Chinese fans here supporting Extreme Gaming. Have anything that you'd like to say to them here at the TI 14?
现场有很多中国的粉丝，有没有什么想对他们说的吗
谢谢大家支持吧。
？Thank you all for your support.
There you go. Thank you, Amit, for a fantastic performance. And let's throw it over to the panel now. Nat T and the gang, take it away.
Thank you so much, Piri and Ahmed there as well. It was nice, you know, in a way he was saying it wasn't really nerves, it was just kind of coming up against Lycan for that game number one. And for game number two, there was no doubt in his confidence about this Clinks, which is, I think, the big thing that we have to start off with, Lacoste. Did this Clinks have that impact you thought? Did it kind of play out exactly as you expected for this hero that no one thought was going to be picked at TI at all?
He did at the later stages of the game. His lane was fine, but he got caught off multiple times. Like, he was getting killed left and right. At one point, he wanted to go for the Dragonlance, but he realizes, you know what? I need to get my BKB. I need my BKB. I need my Nullifier. These are going to be two core items that I need to get to be able to survive, because he was getting heavily focused. He was out of position a couple of times, still playing super aggressive with XM, which did cost him a couple of deaths. At one point of the game, they had like 4 or 5 deaths on Ame out of 7 deaths, which is not something that you see usually.
Yeah, I mean, really all they needed him to do in this game was be damage, because the other cores on the side of XG had such phenomenal games. XXS on Slardar, like, he was doing so much again. I don't know if you guys agree or disagree. For me, he's my MVP of the entire series. I think he did incredibly well as an offlane enjoyer. But XM in this game as well, even playing into Pugna, very hard counters, difficult to use any spells against the Pugna ward, and he made it work. He did a ton of damage in this game. He was a menace in team fights to deal with. They felt like they had to completely focus him.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, like, the Quap and the Slara, they were moving around the map to set up kills, but all that couldn't have happened if things didn't really shove out the lanes, right? I think Ame did a really good job pushing the lane. Sure, he died a couple of times, but it was due to really, really good ward placements, the Observer ward and the Sentry that caught him out. But I wouldn't say like he didn't really do a lot in the game. I think that he did a lot in terms of maintaining stream equilibrium for them to push the base, and it allowed the Quap and the Slara to do their job.
It's also now moving forward, you have to think about that we're seeing Extreme Gaming in multiple different ways using the practice things. You know, we go for the pick, it works in a very different way than what Army has been playing.
But it's the same type of hero that
Where
was
it's
mentioned.
all damage.
Yeah, the damage, the burst.
Yeah, not as much as this 4 Protect 1, which was the early stages of Extreme Gaming.
Even Slaughter offlane is somewhat unconventional. He did an unconventional build on it, the Dominator into Pipe build, like, realizing this is basically what they needed. One thing that we have talked about all year for Extreme Gaming, which is the only thing, because they've done decent, but they've never been this powerhouse that we're expecting to is that they're weird. Like, they pick Sniper mid, they can play these unconventional picks. You know, they pick Juggernaut carry when Jug is terrible, they pick Spectre carry when Spectre is terrible. So to me, it's interesting that, like, this is not the narrative we're talking about. They can pull up these figures, because this is what we've seen all year from them, but they're just also, you know, mixing it with excellent team fighting and decision making, which we're not seeing.
Yeah, it feels like that spell casting was very on point, you know, comparatively. However, the laning phase, because it was really challenging. I think that was the biggest difference between game 1 and game 2 for True Gaming is we saw them be a lot stronger in those lanes, and it was more Tundra on the back foot, having to find farm for themselves, having to pull their way back.
They had a couple of small tricks up there. The matchup in the mid lane wasn't really too good for BZM. He was trying to the first 15 minutes of the game to find his kind of link dagger, but look at this observer board, so they're seeing everything. Jinju is being very plays down the center board. He's going to find something to think. Talked about the battle before the game. He's trying to stack for himself. Maybe get his ankle slam on the multiple reads. He's got that link dagger early on. Just not working out. Right now, Sasha is back to the triangle. Again, he's going to go here. Whereas what Jinju did is he did show himself. He did body block, so he can hit it from the essentially he doesn't get the stack and he's farming only one cannon, super slow. And then 11 minutes in, you have them trying to invade. So they go with the fatal block, they're going to be trying to steal the XP. They know that they want to level 6, which is something that doesn't usually happen. They're going to be stealing a couple of creeps away from him, but you can tell that in the game they have a very good read of the game, where they're going to be playing and how they're going to be playing.
And that was going into this. We knew that Sand King, Shaking Heroes that love to take stacks. How exactly are True Gaming going to deal with it? It felt like they weren't really focused on that side. One of the things that we didn't have to last game.
Exactly. I think the idea there is like just look at the amount of heroes that Hunter had to bring to defend that. We talked about the Sand King Hero Shaker. You don't want a Sand King just launching his team stacks. That doesn't feel good at all. Like Hunter had to allocate so many resources. This is another thing when it comes to extreme decision making. They're able to make these calls where it's like, this was not about a fight, this was not about kills, it was about, we're just going to posture and force you to make bad decisions, essentially, which is a very interesting way. I mean, essentially nothing happened, but the decision allowed.
Look for yourself, is that where you were seeing this game going? Or at what point were you kind of impressed with what you were doing?
I think they were kind of behind till a point where I think they sort of got a good fight when Tundra drove, I think it was the bot mid lane at some point. I mean, they did a really good job like setting up the things there. He got spotted on the Observer and Sentry, and OB predicted that he would move up, so he placed the Observer and Sentry early and got the kill there. And this was another Observer and Sentry in the lane as well, which saw the things again. So I think the game was going pretty well for Tundra up to that point, but then they sort of messed up when they all committed for a swap in the mid lane, and I think four-man rock, Fatal Bond or something, they lost the fight, and that was when things started to go in favor of Extreme Gaming.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the idea is like the overall last pick, Link's coming out, it kind of feels really good to run around and kill Ame, but we even saw that happen in game 1, where he was troll and he died, and then XG goes and takes Roche. Like, they seem to be very good in this series at sacrificing Ame, and then the other cores just carrying the weight.
Yeah, there was this fight that you did mention, which was pretty similar to game number 1, where we're pushing the tier 4 towers. Tundra did kind of come up. The same thing did happen in game number 2. They're going for the push, they're going for this tier 2 tower, and there's going to be a very nice counter initiation coming up from XXS, because he goes in, they proc Abba ulti almost immediately. They're going to be killing the Sand King, who can't really save himself, even though he has really good items this game. He does have Lotus Orb. He's going to become the Dominator as well, so he's super tanky, knowing that this is going to give him quite a lot of armor. And now they're on the chase. They understand that they're weak without Sankey. They don't really have that much. And at this point, XXS, he feels like he's in trouble, but he's sitting in the river, getting that river buff from his innate ability, gets the Glimmer Cape, and this Sonic Wave, it doesn't look like it's that good until XM blinks in again with the Blade Mail, and the rest of the team, they're ready to chase. There's not going to be any kind of a buyback coming out from Tundra, and they're ready to clean up. They could sense that at this point, Tundra, they're really weak. They try to go for this push, but didn't really end up going well for them. And something to highlight as well is this itemization, this Pipe on Slardar, which was unconventional, as you mentioned, Jenkins, but also pairing up with the Hoodwink, who goes for the Glimmer Cape, who goes for the Mage Slayer as well, which is not the usual item on the hero, because they understand that you're playing against Shaker, you're playing against
Sand King,
you're playing against Snapfire as well. It's all magical damage. So those bounces from Hoodwink are going to be reducing the damage heavily, and also just a casual blast coming out from Hoodwink as well to be able to amp up the damage of his carry.
Yeah, the name of the game was just survive the start of the team fight, and then they have enough damage to persist and you know, kill the rest of Tundra. Like that's the thing, is like we talk so much about Clinks because it's on May, it's last pick Clinks. You know, you expect a lot from this year. We don't see it very much. And then you just have Queen of Pain late game. Aghanim Scepter, he went for the right talent, so he was getting extra scream damage, and he's doing so much damage in these fights. As long as they survive, he's able to chase and put out the damage.
Yeah. We can revisit this a little bit more and talk more in depth about that game 2 and exactly about this tier 2 and how Tundra sort of let it slip from what it feels like their fingers, but we really want to hear it from Purge and some more insight he has about this game.
Thank you, Net. Yeah, I wanted to take a look at why BZM had a below average performance on his Earthshaker. So I went through and looked through the clips and I found some really cool stuff. First off, XM got to play Queen of Pain against the Earthshaker, which is a nice matchup advantage because every time that you go for these runes, you can bully him with daggers and right clicks. He did a great job doing this, even missing some last hits to get extra daggers and harass on BZM. But BZM knows this. He's going to trade his health to try to get last hits because he's just trying to accelerate his game and get towards a blink dagger so he can affect the game in a huge way. But check out this dagger here that XM throws. Pretty normal here. It's at the exact same time that BZM gets a healing salve. And keep an eye on these buff area. It's almost off, and he actually isn't paying quite good enough attention. He pops his salve and gets interrupted almost immediately. So he not only spent gold trying to get that salve, but it also got completely wasted. So as a result, he has to go back to heal. XM gets 2 water runes, and at this point has a huge last hit advantage, about double. And then when the rotations come in, BZM's going to get punished. He ends up getting killed in this and many other scenarios, and it basically gets him off to an atrocious start. Very, very abnormal for him. He thought he could get through the difficult moments, but it ended up just being XM getting a bunch of kills throughout this early mid-game. BZM dies here as well. So 10 minutes in, a couple deaths for him, and eventually they do clear these ancient stacks over here for the Earthshaker, but that mistake with the salve really cascading, because take a look at the net worth advantage here at about 12 minutes. Here's the Queen of Pain 5,300, Earthshaker all the way down on 3. He just cleared stacks, and he only has 1,100 gold. It's incredibly low. So this laning stage, they thought they could handle it, but the small mistake that BZM made ended up being a huge deal, and it ended up really affecting his damage output in the mid-game.
Thank you so much. I heard someone in the audience shouting it out as well. It's all these small things. I didn't even notice it the first time we were watching because you kind of assume this matchup isn't going to be you know, like there's some players that are very good at having those bad mid matchups and still coming out, you know, just a little bit behind. But for it to just be down to a small thing like a salve not being on you for long, to the point where your net worth is all in one blink dagger.
I mean, we were kind of wondering why he was like losing. We knew the matchup was bad, but it felt like he lost the lane really, really hard, you know, more than usual, and we didn't really notice the stuff. So thanks for showing us.
Yeah, I'm going to be completely honest and just say that hurts to see.
Yeah.
That really hurts to see in a matchup like that. You, as a mid laner, a lot of the time they'll say, like, okay, I know it's a bad matchup, but I'll deal with it. Like they know the truth, right? You send a couple salves here or there.
It actually matters so much for the lane.
It matters a lot. If he can just have any game in a matchup like that, like they could win off of the back of him doing that.
Yeah, and we almost did. We were talking about it, just how close everything was. Ultimately, it did go in the way of the game. And that's only our first series. And while these games are happening and in between, was catching up with some fans.
Hey everybody, we are here at the arena with the fans, and today is International Series playable system. The current time is 10:59, and we have actually gotten everybody's team IDs on their introduction passes. We take their team IDs, and we are going to be sending out very soon a text or an alert to people that have a less than high Dota skill, less than. These guys are going to receive an alert, and then they're going to find helpers within the crowd that will potentially be able to help them raise their MMR. So hopefully at 11 o'clock, we should get that alert going. How's the MMR? How high are we?
Like 3K.
3K? I'm not sure if it's gonna ping it. It is, if you're above average, what's your MMR?
15K.
15K. Who has the highest MMR, do we think? 15, oh, back here? Hello, you got pointed at. I don't even think this guy knows you. Oh, okay. MMR, sir?
6.5.
6.5? Can anyone beat 6.5 MMR? No. 7.2. What do you spam? Oh, wait. All right, if you are below average MMR, your cell phone should be going off right now. What? Everybody? Everyone? Everyone here? Oh, no! Oh, my God! You? 7.5? No! I am so sorry. The phones are going absolutely ballistic right now. Well, that is unfortunate, but it looks like the entire arena is below average. Jeez, well, that
That's why he did his.
Still out.
Yeah, I use
What's it?
That's maths. That's how you count.
You gotta
Did you actually not know that?
Bad kisses.
Okay, all right. I just had to check.
I've seen
your
Doctor
IQ
Who.
was also below average. It's not. Good work, all right? Look at our next series. We've got P-Vision up against Heroic, so it's going to be taking us halfway through the day. Winter, obviously, as someone who also didn't have their phone alarm go off, that knows a lot, where would you expect this series to be?
I think probably most people will expect it to be favorites for Division, but I do feel like based on the games that I've watched directly, they definitely understand the method in a very different way. They have a couple of distinct ways that only the other ones using it. So I think it's going to be a surprising series for a lot.
Yeah. Oh, look, I want to just kind of point towards the fact that we want to get into these games, right? Our teams are already ready. I know they are. I can see them out of the corner of my eye. And for the very first time, 3 players are going to be taking to the TI stage as their debut. So everyone, I definitely want to hear a lot of hands clapping for P-Vision. It is definitely a team that a lot of people are familiar with. However, these guys are not so familiar with the TI stage. Satanic, 9-Class, and Ducalis, it is their very first time performing in this arena at a tournament like this. There's a lot of prestige, a lot of pressure on their shoulders, and it's going to be a tough one because their opponents are not to be messed with.
Choose wisely and crush those responsible. Heroic! Choose wisely.
An 8-game win streak. That is what the team of Heroic are coming into this series with. That's right. I told you it was going to be a tough opponent for P-Vision. But Heroic, the sole South American representatives here, making it to a top 8. In fact, Jenkins, I think that makes them the sole American representative in the top 8.
That's right. Our brothers and sisters in South America. Of course, we were a combined region at a point. It's still some qualifiers. We are a combined region, so
Maybe for the fans as well, still combined.
I think so. We're all very familiar with each other. It's so great to see these guys in particular on the main stage because they really embody the South American traditional style of Dota, which is just cause as much chaos as humanly possible and then take advantage. And it is so damn fun to watch.
Okay, well, what game do you think, or what moment has caused the most chaos from Heroic so far on the road to the International?
I would be very surprised if P-Vision lets them get Clockwork. I think if you're talking about chaos, probably the most chaotic player in the world is Schofield. This guy is...
You could see him on stage that he is chaotic. He can't wait to go in.
He just can't wait. He's out of his mind. I mean, maybe the other guy is like 9-Class in another 4 positions, so it's great to see this matchup. But we can see some niche heroes that they play. We always talk about Yuma playing Meepo. You know, if it's a good Meepo patch, Heroic always seems to do well. Finally, it's a good Meepo patch. We have to look at the Whisper Punch. Come on, he's played 3 games with it, won 2 of them. And I think all of these picks, at least for Whisper, are enabled by Schofield having such a weird hero pool and weird playstyle as well. Like the way that they manipulate creeps using Clockwork in particular is what I think lets Whisper have a good early game on something like Pudge.
Yeah, dishonest playstyle, right? You said these are the kind of things that you want to watch right now. I think teams are just finding ways of making Bola work in different ways and manipulating the way of Bola. I don't think every team does the exact same thing. Common thing already with the problem, but they are the ones that like to
Yeah.
And I also have to point out that these three players, these three cores from Heroic, they do have three people in highest average KDA. Like, these guys are so good at playing the map, being super aggressive. I think Yuka right now is playing the best tournament of his life. Like, Meepo did bang it out a couple of times. He's having Pudge plus Meepo combination as well, but you also gotta be careful on the other side because P-Vision, they also play both of these heroes. Not from the core role, they do play Pudge from position 4, but also Satanic. He's also very familiar with playing the Meepo.
Yeah, I think them being so high up in the average KDA is something to take a look at Lacoste because at the end of our day one, it was really funny. We had Ame up there. He had a 90 KDA, right? That's how good the game was. It's shifted a little bit over those 4 days where GBK now is the highest. Ame is there on the 5th. And then right in the middle, yeah, it's Humor, Analog, and Whisper there. So something that you really have to take into consideration. And what helps was that 8-game win streak I was mentioning coming into this.
Yeah, for sure. And I think what's like really impressive about this is that it's not just one core that's soaking up all the kills. It is everyone. And in terms of average kills in this tournament, Yuma is actually number 1 with 12 average kills per game. 12 kills per game. Think about that. On average, that's insane. The next person, which I think might be GBK, is like 9. And then everybody is within that like 8 to 9 range in the top 10. 12. He's ahead by like, that's like 3 standard deviations or something for cost.
Yeah, he gets active very early on, like also the heroes that he has been playing so far, playing the Nature's Prophet, playing Ursa, Monkey King, the Gyrocopter. Maybe Ursa not as much to be super active early on, but these other heroes, they can be pretty active using the Nature's Prophet, Rico as well, using the map. But gotta be careful about these type of heroes, and I think coming into this series that they needed to figure out how to play against Heroic, and if you shut down Yuma, I think you're also not just shutting down the carry, you're shutting down the playmaker as well.
Yeah, he kind of enables everything else for his team, right? I think it's he's like a dream type of carry that you want on a team where he actually prioritizes helping his teammates a lot, and he doesn't really play selfishly, right? He wants to come to the fights, he wants to defend the towers, he wants to enable the off laner, he wants to enable the mid laner, and you can see like from the heroes that he's been playing here, it's all very active heroes, right? They can fight early, they can come to the gate, they can gank, they can defend towers.
Love the Spectre, putting a win on the board for the Spectre players here.
Yeah, representing. You know, there's always that 1 or 2 heroes that people want to see. That's their spammer. I think on the side of P-Vision as well, though, because we're giving Heroic a lot of credit about their niche heroes, what they're really excelling at. The same thing can be said about P-Vision. They definitely are a team throughout the year, not just this tournament, that have had massive picks that no one else has been able to use. Then they do well with it. Other people have to adjust, and most of the time it's by picking up these heroes themselves.
Yeah, this is like gaslighting the team because I feel like 9 classes heroes just absolutely ruin clubs, and I'm not even sure. I feel like it ruins DM's lane in the game as well. But and P-Vision just kind of makes it work, and then everybody bans heroes against them. And I'll just say what I'm thinking, which is I watched the Alchemist gameplay. He just fed and then gave an eggs.
Which one? All of them.
All of them are like that. It's like obviously it's good, right? I'm memeing a little bit here, but it's like the fact that it's good, it's weird. Other teams can't seem to make it work, but other teams have to ban it. This gives P-Vision such a huge drafting advantage to the degree where I even feel like if 9 class was like overtly feeding on all of these heroes, you probably still do this strategy just for the drafting advantage that you get.
Well, we should talk about that because with unique heroes, you have to wonder when do you want to bring them out? When do you want to be getting a more stable pick for yourself in a draft where it feels like you're not really going to be able to predict what the team is gunning for?
And usually when we talk about the important pick, it's always like the 18 pick for the first, when you're on the first pick side, and the 24 pick and on the second pick side.
So it's the last pick is 24, and then the last is the second phase.
Yes, correct. So basically what we've been observing with the Rogue to the international is like P-Vision has been prioritizing more towards their mid and their carry with I think around 10 picks each, whereas Heroic they're prioritizing more on their off laner. So there's a huge difference there with who is the boss in the team. Heroic is the off laner, for P-Vision is the mid and the carry.
P-Vision's first hero pick usually is a normal starter, then they start going with the weird stuff.
They unravel at that point.
There's position 4 or 5 with the sharp farm in the jungle until they get the action center. And I think this is not going to be an easy matchup by any means for Heroic, even though they're playing one of the best Dota throughout the year. They're doing well with Latias, 2 best players in the team, but still, the core still stays the same. And 2025, but it's really a favor. P-Vision will beat them. You know how many times, how many games?
They're about to tell me.
It's 10-1. They only managed to win 1 game off the P-Vision.
Yeah, I think this is often a thing that seems to happen for Heroic, where they get pitted against each other. And the reason that I think this is such an iconic matchup is you have Caps versus Astini, right? It's like you have Brazilian coach genius that is, you know, controlling and masterminding this new team. And then you have Caps and a bunch of Brazilian players who, these guys have known each other for years. Like, they are in each other's heads. They know what Whisper can bring out. They know what Analog is good at in his mid lane. They remember the days he was an OG spammer, right? I was in those pubs as well. Like, we have played so many years with each other, and I think this adds another layer to the draft, where it's not so much about what is the general meta right now, it's what is the meta between these two teams and historically speaking.
Yeah, I think they played in the first international playoffs against each other, right? That was the very first round matchup for them was Heroic. P-Vision came in, they 2-0'd them. From there, Heroic just kept winning, right? They were just in a fantastic position for themselves. So it just kind of looking back at it, it really puts this question mark on, has Heroic ramped up enough that that time frame is enough of a change that we can see very good, and we can even see a game win.
And, I mean, these are really good teams as well. That,
like, 2-0 and Tundra?
Like, Tundra, you know, it's like, make the argument, like, Wildcard didn't do so well in the tournament. I feel like their games were pretty good. Boom also, it's not like these teams bottomed out.
I mean, it's not just about winning, right? It was the manner that it was really clean. So it actually showed that they had a lot of confidence in what they wanted to win the game, and they didn't make a lot of mistakes. So I think that is the important thing to take away.
But it's against a yes, Heroic not powered up enough to make this a 3-game interesting series.
Yeah, I think a lot of it is going to come down to the draft. You know, can they come up with something that Astini doesn't know yet?
Yeah, and it feels hard to do that with how much Astini is cooking, with how the boys over on P-Vision are kind of going back and forth.
He's cooking, and he knows the boys on Heroic better than any other coach in the tournament.
We've seen some crazy things coming up from P-Vision so far in the tournament. The Zeus, the Alchemist that you mentioned, again, position 4 Slark, but DM, he also has a very interesting hero core. We're talking about Necro, we're talking about Medusa. I'm not sure if he was the one who pioneered this off-lane Medusa or it was 33, but still they are playing it. The other team, they don't want to touch it. He's playing Phoenix as well. This is also something that 33 did play, Brewmaster as well. So very interesting heroes that he can bring to the table. And very interesting player, because you are saying that a lot of the times 9 class will put him in a situation where PM is kind of on his own. He needs to figure out how to get back into the game, because 9 class is playing mostly melee position 4, so there are some Rubiks, maybe some Zeus, but these heroes can't really stack.
I mean, that's why both of them are perfect for each other,
Yes.
right? Their heroes just work with each other, and DM kind of enables 9 class, because I've been saying this a lot. 9 class is a support player that needs to be able. I don't think he's like a support player, he's like a core. He plays like a core. And I feel like they sometimes have 2 4.5 heroes in the game. They don't exactly have a tier 3 and a tier 4.
And I think this is a perfect storm for a player like Satanic, who we've actually not touched on that much talking about this team. But he has the record for the least deaths, highest GPM, highest XPM, highest last hits per minute, and overall last hits. That is insane. He holds like half the records in the tournament.
And you got to think about it, he only came in to the scene, the pro scene, at the end, at the conclusion of last international.
He's brand new. This is his first TI.
A massive debut for him, and there's still also those question marks around his hero roller cost. He gets to sometimes get the cheesy last picks of Brood Mothers and whatnot.
He does. He has also shown that he can play carry Tinker, which is something that...
I didn't want to talk about it.
Yeah, I mean, this team also has a bit of a like lineups with the hero that they've been playing, very annoying to deal with. And seeing him on camera tells me that he is in a good mood. Like this is his, you said 3 players, first time TI, so there's gonna be some nerves playing on the stage most definitely. But seeing him super relaxed, I think they also have no one who's gonna, you know, dad in this team because he's been playing for such a long time that he's gonna give him the good advice. I think there was also a video after EWC where he was telling him how to bounce back, and you can see the connection, you can see the bond between the two of them.
Yeah, that was my biggest question for Satanic. It's like, does he have the champion mindset? Because he has the skill, 100%. This is the most skilled Dota player that we've probably seen in like the last half decade come onto the scene. But my question was, can he survive the pressure? Can he survive the crowd?
And did you know there's a fun fact about him? He spent like around a year playing in SEA because his dad was in Vietnam, so he was playing Dota in SEA. That's how we kind of started to notice him like a couple of years back.
So P-Vision is an SEA team, is what you're saying?
they're the four players and 1 SEA player.
Yep.
That's what you're
That's
talking about.
That's the combo
That was
for XG.
the winning combo, which is at the start of the day.
No one can know.
Right, no one will know.
No, of course. For this P-Vision and Heroic matchup, we're just still struggling to get some of the players in the lobby, so don't go too far, guys. It's definitely going to start very soon. But we've talked about just how crazy everything is when it comes to a draft, when it comes to a hero and how to predict that. But what I want to know is, who do you think has had the cleanest team? Heroic on this upturn of not having lost a game, making wins to P-Vision, just kind of all over the place. But are those wins just as dominant for them?
I would say no. They have not been looking clean. In some of the games, they've been really struggling to find what they want to do. I'd say a lot of the times with this position 4 and 5, these weird picks that they do have, it does feel like griefing a little bit, but they seem to manage to find what they want from these type of picks, especially Slark, who's being super annoying. You see him go on one side of the map, try to get something done. You see him dewarding, you teleport, suddenly he collects the information, and then he just bounces back, runs away. Also, Helm of the Dominator from position 4. This is something that 9 class does like to do. I mean, we've seen it mostly from the carry role, some invokers from the mid lane, offlaners, they love to buy it, but for most of the position 4s, they don't love to buy it, but the 9 class, he will definitely do it, because he wants to be even more annoying. I think this is the perfect item for him.
Yeah, P-Vision is such an interesting team. I mean, Astini himself has said publicly that they always throw once, at least in a series, and
In a series?
in a game. Sorry, in a game.
I don't know if that makes it better or worse.
Definitely worse. Definitely worse. But they know that the problems that they have, and I think the heroes that they pick make it more likely that this sort of things can happen. Like, you have an alchemist running around stunning himself on ancient stacks. Like, goofy things are going to happen. But on the flip side, I don't think you can call Heroic clean either, because they intentionally create a game which is unclean, so that way they
the way they play upsets the momentum of your opponent a lot. I think it's very hard to find a rhythm. I think in Dota, it's important to maintain rhythm. You know your heroes are strong right now. When you play with that rhythm, I think against hero, it's usually difficult.
They break them.
They kind of mess everything up, so you don't really know whether you're too strong or not.
I'm looking at the pre-lobby chat. One of the teammates, I think it was 9 class, decided P-Vision, said, yeah, we're ready. They only have 3 players in the lobby. And he's ready to start the game. They don't even need all 5 barreling joined.
I don't think he thinks about his teammates in general, to be honest. If he's picking Alchemist for...
He's like, I'm going to be the carry and the support and everything else needed.
Well, you know, the goofiest thing is that in the draft, it's going to be banned. Nobody wants to play against it, even though it's so silly when you watch it.
I mean, we'll see, right? Because people have lost against the banning out, people have lost against running out through. I really don't know where to take us from here, except straight into a game 1 draft. There's definitely some mixed cheers here. Heroic having a lot of fans in the crowd at P-Vision as well, and so they're going to be hoping for a lot coming out of this draft. That small little delay there, does it kind of ease the nerves, do you think, Winter, or does it make you more impatient? Like, I just want to get into this already.
Yeah, I think most of the players would think that you just want to get the game started, you just want to get into the game, make sure you're focused, you don't really want to bother yourself with the noises outside. Just focus on minute 3 lasers, minute 7 lasers, minute 6 power room. You're thinking about all those things, you know, and I think while you're thinking about those things, I have to make sure that I don't throw myself away when I see my teammates fighting with
I think the game starts as the system 1 activates and you're just like, you're just in, right? You're literally not thinking about anything else. At least that's ideal, in an ideal world.
Okay, well, hopefully we'll get the drop on the screen soon because one of the bands is already very interesting from the side of Heroic with the spoil is that Jinta. We talked about it, Titanic, just how he's able to have some cheesy picks for himself. I thought it was, you know, Brood in that last bit, but they also love to open with Tinker, and that could potentially have a bit of flex, and it's so annoying to do.
Yeah, it could be, but this is also a hero that can be pretty much anywhere on the map. We talked about Helm of the Dominator, that is very annoying, split pushing, and this is the hero that can actually kill it with laser, because it's on such a low cooldown that you can actually use it multiple times, and this is something that they definitely theory crafted, how to deal with these annoying heroes, because they are probably the most annoying team to play against in terms of when they don't want to take the fight, they're not going to be taking the fight, they're going to be doing something else on the map with these multiple Helm of the Dominators, with the position 4 Slark that they like to run, and this also leaves Beastmaster in the pool if P-Vision wants to grab it, because there's no gyrocopter, seeing that there is Undying as well banned out, so potentially it could be a good opener for P-Vision. We talked about them getting like one really good pick at the start of the draft. Mostly it has been offlaner, getting something for DM, some Enigma, and also leaving maybe a bit of a flex with some Kunkka potentially that they can run across the
I mean, you know, I kind of like that though, because if you have to open your draft with Beastmaster, right, and if you're in P-Vision's side, you're probably thinking, oh, if we have Beastmaster often, it means that my position 4 can't actually run around and just do his own thing. He kind of needs to stay and secure his lane, you know. So that's kind of like a little bit of upsetting the way they normally have to play. Because with Beast, I think that ideally the situation is to have a position 4 that's range, that you want to sit in the lane and secure the Beastmaster lane. And if they don't really want to do that, so this might be a good pivot, you know, for heroes.
This was one of the first teams of P-Vision, speaking of, that would run the Beast as mid and as carry as well. So I could definitely see if like Beast gets countered in lane, they just run it as another position, or like let's say you have a free safe lane as Beastmaster, I could absolutely see Satanic on Beast.
Yeah, when the maps changes with that, really go.
Oh yeah, you're kidding. First pick. Alright, be a bet.
What about the stable openers? What happened to that?
Oh, we never talked about heroic teams.
There's no stability here.
They're doing it for the crowd, looking cheeky smiles and KJ and caps. They definitely knew that punch pick was going to get a reaction.
Wow, I really respect this. I mean, Hook one-shots the Boar, doesn't one-shot the Dawn Creep anymore, but I will say, if you're playing Core Pudge, Aghanim Scepter plus Flesh Heap, you run in, all the Beast summons hitting you, it doesn't do any damage. The Beast Aghanims is also effectively damage over time. Like, Flesh Heap counters all of this. I actually think Pudge is one of the better heroes against Beastmaster in general. Once you get a BKB on Beast, Dismember, you can focus a lot with BKB with a little bit of extra damage. So it's honestly not a bad pick here. But yeah, I agree. Like, I'm really shocked Clockwork is not out. Like, this is how they make Pudge work as an offlane, is they do the lane manipulation. It is always...
You know what, we had this discussion, right? We were saying, is it important to actually ban it, or we just let them get the clockwork, and you know, before you start the game, you try to control your side of the rune, and you anticipate his movement, you place the one, and you kill him when he's trying to block the creeps with the clocks.
Yeah, and I think
because it's important to block the first one. He can do it the next time, but it's not so impactful after that.
And we disagreed on this, where I think that you have to invest too much to deal with
He loves to do that.
He loves to do that. You're playing into his hand, but it is an interesting question. You know, I have to see it happen.
And there it is.
Well, you're going to get an answer eventually. Just
P-Vision knew this was coming.
You know, one of the better supports to like stop that is something like a Bane, because you can just go in and sleep him. So I wonder if they're going to try to do that. But the downside is Bane is not as good against the clockwork in the mid game. He's only good at stopping the lane shenanigans.
I think SD is the same. Well, you can't SD either because it's the cogs that aggro the creeps, right?
I mean, you have to wait for him to come, and before he does it, you have to sleep or disrupt.
That's the problem, is where he does it is literally at the tier 1, he walks into tier 1 range and aggroes from like far away. It's like there's a very small window where you can stop him from doing this.
I would love to see some position 4/5 that is going to give them something to get out of the cogs. Snapfire is still available, so you can push him out of the cogs. Also, potentially good against Cook. Members who are not getting the drop damage as well.
Yeah, I do want to go back and talk a little bit about thinking about that because for me, I'm looking at the advantage. It's this Enigma and Nightreign. And so then I had a question mark: is the Pudge potentially going somewhere else? Why are they so focused on taking out those two heroes? Is it a lead up protection to what they want, or were they actually looking at this Pudge not necessarily having to be an off lane?
I think if these two are supports, Clockwork and Pudge, it's just not what kind of work out. Like
I guess mid Pudge is the idea. Like
potentially, but I think they're just going to keep things.
I mean, they must know something that we don't know.
Yeah.
But
based
that's
on
what
the
I'm
facts.
wondering. Like we see it from Heroic very straightforward, just off lane, but P-Vision aren't necessarily showing that same sort of line of thinking. But either way, the snap does come out as well, exactly what you're looking for, Lucas, just something to help with those cuts.
Yeah, it also gives you good amount of damage. It gives you overwhelming teamfight Beastmaster. I love the 1-2 combos that you can pretty much kill any hero on the map.
It's
Roar
easy.
with the Snapfire ulti, Monkey King, Boundless with the
I mean, don't forget, if it's a pause 5 snap, you just go into the lane and you learn your Shredder and kill the Cogs.
Yeah,
So that is
also
like
do that.
very annoying for the Clockwork in the game.
Pudge is also a very low armor hero. So running into the lane and little shreddering him at level 1 is pretty good.
Have you seen the Blightstone build?
I have seen the Blightstone build. I don't think it's that good. I feel like little shredder already does what you need it to do. I mean, the weird thing here though is like Pudge Clock is not going to be laning. That's why I'm not a huge fan of like the Monkey Kings and Undyings, these heroes that normally counter the melee offlaners. There will be 2 lanes. There will be Clockwork cutting one wave, and then Pudge playing on the other wave. And both heroes will be farming just fine. You will 50-50 this lane always. That's why Heroic plays this strategy. So I'm curious to see what P-Vision does. Like, I think that idea of like hard countering it with the Bane makes sense, or bringing a position 4 that can help.
Crystal Maiden, that's another uncontested hero so far at TI, getting picked up.
It's
Clinks
for the Pudge.
Oh,
Cross
it's
Crossfire.
Crystal Maiden.
I think it's a carry.
It's a carry Pudge.
Crossfire.
Wow.
Also, the Legend plus allows you to be extremely tanky. Do not mess with this. Like, this is
Really?
insane. Right around with the stick, with the barrier, with the flashlight as well. You feel like you're going to kill them, and then they can come in.
There's also another thing good about CM. She's one of the better support heroes for that. Crossfire and kind of kill it.
It's the one thing that still works against the Knight.
If you're a lady against a Beastmaster and someone
You still
builds
kill the
up
boss.
but what's
You still kill the boss before he gets killed.
right? But what's the skill build then? For her in lane.
Most of the time, I think you would get your crossfire extra.
Yep.
Pudge CM is just one of those classic things.
You just die at level 1.
Yeah.
Crossfire.
I love Pudge in the safe lane. I mean, I play at 5, I agree with my games. But the tree spots that you can now put into, you need like 2 trees to cut the plate to get out. Otherwise, you run through the tower.
Potentially cut carry. This is one of his worst what heroes. Can't really fight him because he does more damage and he does a lot of HP. I mean, the only good thing about it is you can fight him during his great.
The life steal, that's overall good. Yeah, much more than like playing into is some stacking damage, playing into Ursa, playing into Viper, playing into life steal, these types of heroes that can actually man fight him. And you're also going to be fighting into Monkey. Whether this Monkey is or overall, it's still going to be building into the music blade because we've seen 9 class go for Helmet the Dominator, go for the music blade, and this is something that Pudge can do.
You're also getting ganked by Goa. So he's coming with a creep. He is the creep, and you're gonna be able to pick the carry out of the lead.
I think the Miko ban is very smart, by the way. You do not want to get obsessed with this idea that it has to be a CM Pudge class lane, because you can still rotate CM through the portal and play with Pudge. For the game, and for the early game especially, it's still very good. And this would be a phenomenal Miko game.
Yeah, but if you do that, right, I feel like it's not easy to kick the lifesteal. Let's say lifesteal is already level 6. Like it's not that straightforward for you to kill.
I think you would just play as like the trio, and then Puck connects, and you're never going to kick the Lifestealer out, right? But I literally saw them do Clock Pudge against Lifestealer Undying, which is a like harder lane than this, and they did fine because he's just farming on Pudge.
And so would you say like the gate wards are going to be very important if they're going to play like this? You have to place wards to see those moves coming.
Definitely,
which can be very game changing.
Or jungle wards if the trio is like moving between the one side lane and the mid lane.
I like this ban a lot from Heroic removing Void Spirit. Even though they have a good amount of lockdown, you have CM's Frostbite. This hero has a good matchup against Puck in the mid lane. The other one I'm looking for is potentially Ember Spirit because you can build into Mage Slayer. Blade Mail is not as good as it was, so we're seeing them going back potentially for some Spirit's Vessel if it's a good game for it, going for the Mage Slayer as well. And so far I'm seeing Heroic having all magic damage, even though Pudge, if it's going to be core with the Rotten core, he's still dealing good amount of right clicks, but most of the damage is going to be magic.
And by the way, the good shout on the Void Spirit ban, that also means that they think that it could be a monkey support.
I was going to say, like, could you not still move that monkey into?
And it is a 9-class specialty hero from back in the day. I don't think it's as good because the Simian Stride, you need to level the jump up to level 5 before you're getting the instant jumps. It's a lot worse, but I don't think 9-class really cares about that sort of thing.
The thing is, they're going to have to reveal it, right? They're not going to be able to have that flex. Is it a Monkey King mid? Is it a Monkey King 4? Going into this, they're kind of just going to have the last pick and place their odds on exactly where they think the Pudge is. It's still 2 carries that they're banning out, both Meepo and Terrorblade.
I like
Do you guys like the Monkey King mid and you pick something like a Rubik for a 9-class to play the lane? Seems like pretty decent.
There's some good spells to steal.
Yeah, I like it. I mean, Monkey versus Puck is a classic matchup that I think no one in particular has done really well in.
Oh, this is good. This is something that
Position for Night Stalker?
that NA team did use. And got banned a couple of times against it, I believe. Night Stalker, like, Puck doesn't get to play the game. It's a very difficult matchup for him, forcing
You have to buy BKB.
by either a BKB early on, Force Staff doesn't work, but once you go in, like, having a vision game, it also allows you to have Lifestealer being inside of the Night Stalker. There's a lot of room that you can actually do with the Snapfire, with the Aghanim Scepter, with the Infest, and then just getting someone out, suddenly you have 2 heroes. We're going to save that for the later stages, but I think overall this is a very good Night Stalker pick, even though the hero is not the strongest.
Some sort of illusion hero would be so good here. Like if Naga was still like, okay, they go for Ursa.
Well, it makes more sense than why they did ban out that Meepo and that Terrorblade towards the end, wanting to link into a mid-beast and an off-lane. So that's the change of what happened in that class. This is to that one himself. And then you have it also left.
It's a very good carry to carry the yeah, I kind of like it. It's also good against the beast in the lane and in the game. And I feel like overall, I'm not so sure about the Night Stalker. I know the Night Stalker has his creator against the Speaker Silence against the Puck. But can he secure Beastmaster? And he's not an off-lane Beastmaster. It is
It's a mid-beast.
It's a mid-beast. Oh, so it's going to be support.
We're seeing EMP gets his lane breeze on the King.
Yeah, I know.
Melee against Ursa and CM just doesn't sound that fun. Even though Night Stalker with the Nightreign facet does put a lot of pressure where you have the Rubik's Cube who has a lot of control. I want to see the lane game.
Yeah, the gate ganks are going to be very important to watch because they stabilize the lane. I think it's probably more important to watch the wings like try to snowball with their heroes, whereas for Paravision they just want to like get the levels and try to play a slower game, and eventually they're going to have that overwhelming vision to win the team fights.
Okay, well, it's that off-lane Pudge, and I know you love Pudge, Jenkins, so I'm going to give you a little bit of time to talk about it on the side of Heroic.
Which set he's going to use, that's what matters.
I can see on my screen here which set he's using.
That's cheap, you can't do that.
It's the best set to use, to be fair. I mean, yeah, I agree with what these gentlemen said, which is I feel like the laning phase will definitely go for Pikachu. They're going to win that. But then after that, like after the 5-minute mark, once the lanes start breaking down, then we're going to look at this trio. We'll look at Whisper, Doctor, Puck, running around, CM going through the portal, and see if they can get kills in those points. This is how Heroic makes space for you.
Well, look, I was checking behind my button because I already saw Slack one point, and I was wondering about it. Not just Slack, it's both places.
Habs
this fan?
I asked how spicy would the interview be.
How spicy will the interview be? No, not too spicy, not too spicy. But let's go ahead and ask, why did you give them their iconic punch block? Pretty risky stuff.
To respect them, so the best way to show respect is giving them their best threat and beating it.
Oh! It is spicy! All right, last one. Any words for him? You gave him a lot of 100% heroes. Snapfire, you know, the Monkey King. What do you think?
I think we should give them the best strategy and build it, you know?
Okay, all right, gentlemen, give yourself a handshake here before we get into it. Let's get into this match between these very good friends and these two fantastic teams.
Thank you very much, thanks. Yes, we're getting ready for the action here. It's going to be P-Vision up against Heroic. And what a way to start the trade, right? We get the Pudge coming through. I mean, there was no way they weren't going to do this, right? When you saw what they were able to do during the road to TI, you got to go with these Pudges and these clocks. The question is, are P-Vision going to be able to deal with it here on the main stage?
That's the question, right? Because I think Schofield, for time and time again, especially at internationals, he has broken ankles. Even at other tournaments, of course, too, but he's playing his signature. And a ton of signature heroes, as we do see across the board. Master tiers, Grandmasters, all over the place. This will be an absolute treat. You see pointed out by our beautiful observer right there. Yeah, this has so much excitement in it because there's some heroes that maybe were not really countered so much, right? The Puck, limited disables on one side. They clean up the draft with the Night Stalker at the end on the side of P-Vision to just have that type of lockdown. And this long silence could definitely be pretty disruptive. It's something that even Ursa doesn't like to play against at times. Yes, the lane for the Ursa with the CM looks fantastic, but as we've seen sometimes, lanes can be broken very early on. 9 Class has shown it, Schofield has shown it that they just go through portals, they make all these crazy types of moves. So yeah, we're in for a treat. This early game is going to dictate quite a bit.
And because overall as well, I mean, very much putting the Vision into P-Vision, right? Especially with Night Stalker last pick. The sort of information that P-Vision is going to be able to set up with in these kind of early to mid-game plays, it's going to be quite difficult for Heroic to catch them by surprise.
No, for sure. We've seen it so many times, right? P-Vision, that's a strategy they do. That's why they used to, well, I say used to, but that's why they do the Slark as this 4 position at times, right? They're a very vision-based team, picking and choosing their battles at ideal moments. So Heroic, I mean, it's kind of a good matchup for them, though, because it's a team that likes to cause chaos, likes to make a team make mistakes. And yeah, when you have Pudge, this type of hero in particular can cause mistakes. You get hooked past position. Some really cool stuff that we could have coming in.
And what does it make of the last pick from Heroic going for the Ursa to close this overall draft up?
Comfort hero, obviously, for the side of Yuma, but it's a core-to-core matchup that they wanted. Because I was debating a couple other heroes that would be good for the game, perhaps, but I think they wanted something in particular that deals with damage. Because looking at the other 4 heroes, yeah, you have the bite that goes through, you have the clockwork hook shot that goes through that rage in particular, but you want somebody that can stand toe-to-toe. I think me and you were debating like Spectre or something, right? But these heroes just don't match that core-to-core matchup the same, so I think they just want him to be able to scale in these later stages.
And you're sort of talking about the bites, talking about the support, so getting Crystal Maiden coming in. We didn't see this hero at all during the road to the International. It's definitely not a rarity in pubs, right? This hero is played. Why was it not picked up until this point, and why do you think Heroic have gone with it here?
To be honest, I can't give you a direct answer why it wasn't picked up in particular, but in this game, you have great setup. It's a great lane as well, too, if you know that you're going to be playing versus something like a double melee. And I think I've seen a lot of games, especially from P-Vision, it's a double melee off lane. Yeah, they're going to creep pull, they're going to do some shenanigans, right? But at some point, CM is very good versus most double melee lanes, especially with an Ursa,
So you think that Heroic, they do have the tools to sort of match the pressure that P-Vision will put on during the laning stage, or kind of heroes to heroes, it will still be tough overall?
I absolutely think they can, yeah. It's just this top lane. I want to say that, the lifesteal and the snap should come out advantageous, but I've seen Heroic play almost versus the same lane and came out ahead with the Pudge in the past. So, yeah, curious to see how these lanes are going to be played as we have an extensive pause we got.
Yeah, because I guess that's because when we talk about the snap being in that lane and trying to deal with this kind of these Schofield clock movements, is this sort of a hero that you're picking because it's going to be kind of chasing around the clock, or are you just trying to focus on fully punishing the Pudge when they're left alone?
I think it's the punishment, but also they mentioned something on the panel there. I don't remember who it actually was, but you can kill the cogs, so you can do some little things to disrupt this clockwork. The cookie's not as effective, but there are ways that you can play around it. And I think, yeah, Pudge, low armor, can definitely look to take advantage if you get a good position to pressure with that snap. Did you see what was going on? Okay.
Apparently should be good to go pretty soon.
Just getting some final things lined up in the booth, making sure all players are ready to roll.
Something I'm looking forward to is, I mean, we're likely to have some Dominators, of course, in this game, at least 2, potentially even 3, because we do know 9 class likes to build it, but Heroic, they don't have a Dominator build.
I don't think, they don't need no Dominators.
No, so
maybe some of the victories they had, but definitely a lot of the wins that they were getting towards that second half of the Road to the International, where they started to hit this win streak. They were just doing it with kind of just raw chaos.
Exactly.
And especially around these 2 heroes, of course, that they have opened up the draft. So this sort of game 1 as well, it's going to be very much a test or a showing from them whether other teams, and if P-Vision down the line in the draft in this series, need to make sure that they don't let this kind of pudge clock get through as the first 2. If Heroic can get this game 1 win, they're definitely going to have a lot of implications in how P-Vision is going to have to start their draft in game 2 against them.
Absolutely. I'm so glad that we actually did get, I knew we were going to get it, right? The double coaches down there, they're such good friends. I think this is going to be a really interesting kind of thing that maybe dictates how the rest of the drafts are going to go for this series in particular.
Yeah.
Because they might just give them everything. Both sides might just go, you know what? We'll just give you guys what you want, and we'll see what happens. Because the bans, if you saw, were pretty specific. There was a gyrocopter ban in the first phase. You don't see that always. So.
No, absolutely. No, and indeed, as we heard from the coaches, the respect they have, they want to be what the enemy gets the best, the best in the enemy's hands. So, maybe it's sort of, just sort of a mutual agreement that kind of played out during that draft as well, in the fact that both teams did get those strong openers.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to see what we do get going down, but we do have this pause at the moment.
We do. It will be over pretty shortly, and hopefully once the pause is over,
anticipation.
we'll be good to go. Yes,
Anticipation for a hook immediately, right? That's what we want. That's what everybody wants, the pudge.
Getting a lot of scribbling on the mini-map.
Yeah, they were playing tic-tac-toe. They drew some stars. I don't know. But looks like we're underway. Dekalis gets the
Dekalis has said he's ready. We'll see if Heroic's got everything good as well in their booth. And hopefully we'll then get the word to get this game underway. But one thing for sure, I don't think this is going to be a game that's going to have a pretty slow opening 20 minutes. Right?
No, I don't think this series will, period, right? These 2 teams are definitely going to be looking to run at each other. Heroic maybe more so than P-Vision, who does like to play, as you mentioned, more about the vision, controlling the map, but let's go.
Right,
we're underway.
Thank you very much for your patience, ladies and gentlemen. We're ready to get on with the action here between Heroic and P-Vision. And action we should definitely be getting.
And look at this, P-Vision, they want to secure that lane in particular, right? They don't want Schofield to do his little put a sentry to make the lane meet at a weird position, get the cogs down to mess with things. So they're trying to protect their jungle as much as possible here to prevent these type of moves and maybe an early hook, right? So you see P-Vision, they will back away. Heroic places a deep early ward, and we are underway.
P-Vision holding back, but still under the cover of smoke. Still difficult, really, for them to approach and try and make a play into this. So yeah, purely defensive, just making sure they don't get tripped up by Heroic as the lanes do set up.
See, if Heroic wants to stick a 3rd hero just for the start of the lane, since they do have that CM Pudge combo, they could trip them up to potentially go for that quick early first blood.
That's true. Yeah,
there's definitely a chance.
Play could be pretty tasty and a very good thing to go for, especially here on the main stage. Now, if you can start to shake up the enemy early, you could start to tilt them a little bit.
Yeah, look, let's see the positioning. Schofield, he's doing what he does. He's going to immediately run in, put the cogs down, or we just body block the wave until the cogs get closer. And that lane positioning, it's going to be, exactly where they ideally would want it. Let's see if Satanic catches the wave. We do see this combo is up here.
Yeah, let's see if Satanic's ready for this. Heroic getting ready just in case Satanic steps out a little too far. They're going to go for the hook. They're going to be able to grab him away from the creep wave. Again, I'm caught in the cogs and have to skill the level 1 rage to back up. So no kill to be found, but a decent bit of damage there from that early setup and an early aggressive poke from Heroic, showing that Satanic's got to be on his toes.
And then we do see Dekalis does what we were mentioning, right? What the panel was talking about as well, too. Get that little shredder early so you can either kill the cogs or just be able to harass a hero like Pudge, who's 2 armor, super low arm in this hero. So we'll be able to attempt to counteract these moves.
Now let's see how well he does. Because I feel like even in some of the lanes where you expect Whisper's Pudge to get punished, he ends up coming out insanely far.
He does.
So very, very comfortable on this hero in this position.
Yeah, and let's see how many, I'm going to keep watching how many cogs they do kill, because, yeah, Schofield, he's going to be doing his annoyance in this lane. But overall, I would say Satanic, yeah, on paper, right, Satanic should have a pretty free time up here, unless some crazy stuff happens from Schofield and Whisper. And looking at the other lanes in particular, It's liberal, right? P-Vision does have very strong setup for the lanes. The mid Beastmaster versus the Puck is very, very strong matchup. The bottom lane is the one that can be a bit different, where the Ursa and the CM can take advantage. So 2 lanes that do look quite strong for the side of P-Vision at the start.
I mean, and sort of take advantage to the point where is there kind of sort of a stage in this bottom lane where the Ursa CM can get kills?
Oh, absolutely. Anytime that they do see a misposition, misstep there from DM, they could look for it. Same thing from 9 class, but 9 class also can do some pretty annoying stuff, as we've seen from him on this Monkey King, of going through the portal, bringing numbers to an area that is not as expected. So this mid lane, I've seen the Beast most of the time come out ahead, but also these Pucks usually don't fall that behind anymore in a lot of these matchups that they used to struggle, like the Earthshaker versus Puck matchup, which used to be a hard one. Now these Pucks just do fine because of curveball. So we'll see how no one does in this matchup with Analog.
It definitely feels like a mid matchup where, I mean, probably from both teams, right? The supports, rotations early on could warrant a kill in that mid lane.
Oh, absolutely. I don't know if we'll see an early rotation, though, because these side lanes are... They do need their supports to stay there. As we do see early aggression, even from bottom, DM, getting the early point in silence. Maybe they'll be able to play this lane a little better than anticipated, even though it's versus Ursa CM.
CS-wise in the top lane so far, 8-4 on Whisper against Satanic 13-3, so I see the damage here coming in with a little shred and a few right clicks. Not too fun for the Pudge here on the early levels against these two. Ooh. Anytime that Schofield steps away.
Yeah, he even went for the chainmail immediately on Whisper, right?
They've got to watch out for this, though. Something about Schofield and sniping the carriers' couriers. It's happened so many times.
We had that one series earlier.
Yeah, he got like the DK's courier level 3 times in a row or something, so Satanic definitely going to have to be a bit more careful with his courier placement when he gets those, or he's trying to get those items brought out, because Schofield, he will be on top of the timings. Like, you know for sure, right? He's keeping track of when that courier is respawning, and he's going to be ready to get in position to go for it again.
100%. I mean, that's his best involvement that he can have up here, is really killing the couriers and just disrupting them from killing the Punch. Because right now you're seeing Whisper, he truly is struggling up here. He even bought the chainmail level 1, or immediately when he had the gold, so that he can try to survive the pressure. But look at it, it's constant.
Yeah, poking him underneath the tower. Still have to be careful. I mean, you saw that anytime that Ducalis tries to set up and go for that, if he lines himself up to get hooked under the tower, could get turned around.
Definitely wants to have the lane in maybe a better position. They're not so close to that tower, so they can't get aggressive.
Down on the bottom side of the map, Yuma so far 20 CS, 18-4 on DM, so being able to match the farm so far on this bottom lane. And yeah, indeed across the board, just Whisper is having the slightly tougher time top, but as expected.
To be expected, exactly. So mid, Analog is handling his own, 22-3 to the 26, a couple extra denies on no one, but
I mean, look at this damage. It gets harder now, though. I mean, no one just stepping up and just absolutely beating the hell out of this.
He dodged
This is coming in. He's going pretty deep, no one.
No one is very deep.
He's taking a lot of tower hits as well. He went for the dive. Is he going to be able to get away? There's going to be the all back up in a couple of seconds. Analog, he's going to have it.
He's got him.
First blood there for Analog as no one gets far too greedy there with that aggressive dive.
He tries to go for the axes, but the shift is back up. He dodges it. He has more than enough damage, and they lose the courier, too.
That's a big kill to get as well. I mean, up to that point, the mid matchup was pretty close, but now Analog's going to get the chance to get kind of a full creep wave ahead, and having that first blood as well secured on the Puck.
Massive. 2 couriers also being killed. Nighttime soon to end also. So DM, the bottom lane, will become much more difficult for him now, as immediately they go aggro on this Night Stalker as the daytime hits.
Oh, the swipes are stacking up. He will be able to push him back momentarily there with an Ironwood branch placement. So
that was a really nice branch.
Nice sort of moves there from DM to stop Yuma from getting a couple more hits in and kind of give him a chance to break away from that blood grenade that was thrown out.
Very nice branch play. KJ was not quite in range. Yuma tried to get that advantage play there, but wasn't able to. And so far, I mean, Whisper, he has yet to die top, right? So he is getting something. He is, of course, getting sacrificed a little bit, but if he gets a hook kill, he'll be right back into it, which can absolutely happen at any moment.
Yeah, and the fact that he's not dying up there is definitely giving Schofield the freedom to just kind of get to do Schofield things, moving up and down through the jungle, around to provide pressure in the mid. The Roar's going to be there for the setup.
They got him.
No one able to get the kill. Schofield not able to do anything to help out that time. P-Vision, they're going to try and chase Schofield a little bit, but I think as we'd learn, right, you got to be careful when you're chasing Schofield. You don't want to waste too much time running down the crossfire.
Never. If it's Schofield, you almost never do. Never want to chase him. Whisper.
Rotation's coming in. Forward here from 9 class. Schofield is around. Box down to try and hold Satanic back, but he's able to get round with the rage. They get the cookie connection as well. Boundless strikes up. Whisper trying to back up to the tower.
He's still
The
alive.
battery assault holds back Satanic. Whisper's going to be fine for now. Analog's TP'd over, does have the Dream Coil available, but they won't even need to stick around because with P-Vision they back up, they didn't get the kill. They're not going to try and make any crazy dives top.
Do they stick around for this Shrine of Wisdom? It looks like
could be
9 Class
tempting.
wants to.
I mean, the thing is, though, they're going to know that Analog's around.
Yeah, I don't know if they can contest this when the puck is in the area.
Whisper, they got the vision there. I'm going to get the hook straight away. They catch 9 Class. Analog jumps in with the burst. 9 Class is dead. Another bit of a greedy play there from P-Vision, just underestimating the fact that Heroic, of course they're going to be sticking around for that time.
Didn't anticipate them putting the ward, I guess. He was trying to make that sneaky play, but yeah, Analog is just still in the area too. And Analog still has Coil for that next move available too, if it does happen. As let's see how I'm move available too, if it does happen. As let's see how I'm just going to keep eyes on DM these next couple minutes, especially for P-Vision, since it is this daytime. This is a very crucial point. If he's able to keep the lane in this position, he's going to get a lot. And it does look like this wave is going to stay here, so that's very good for him. Top,
Schofield should be fine here. Whispers in with the backup, looking for the angle for the hook. Not going to get it this time.
They're not giving him that chance to get that hook. He has his phase boots finished up though, so a lot easier for him to survive up here. And as you said, Schofield, it can't open up the map for him. Power Rune. Ducalis is setting up.
9 Class. It's going to end him with a jump, but now the Yuma's hit the 6. Very hard to bully the bear. Unless they catch him in some sort of chain control between like the roar of no one on the Beastmaster if he makes the move down bottom.
Analog gets a haste. This is a big rune. Could potentially even save him. When you get this rune, when you're playing versus Night Stalker, it's the dream early game.
On top lane. A little bit of a dismember. He's going to force the TP reaction from no one. Comes in, drops the roar. That's a very dead Whisper there.
Bait play there from Satanic. Good TP coming in from no one. They do know now though that no one has no resources since he did TP top.
I mean, they could try and dive in for DM bottom now.
He has ulti available
Yeah,
though.
he is going to be pretty slippery.
Yeah. DM is getting a lot down here, Owen. This is a big deal. He's level 6 now. He's going to be getting his Dominator pretty soon too. Even though 9 Class has left him for some time, he's getting way too much. And they're not able to bully him because of the positioning of that lane on that Night Stalker. He's just keeping it at his tower, not shoving it in. So that's going to be really important timing for him on this first night.
And have a smoke up coming in from the two of them, Yuma and King Jungle's ready to make this play towards the top.
This is a clever move. This could catch him off guard.
See what P-Vision do in response. Ducalis, not a chance for him. Satanic
is in
get
trouble.
away from this. Whisper ready to lead and gets the hook into the dismember.
What a move.
Excellent plays there from Yuma and King Jungle's coming in and securing Yuma a double kill from that little trip top.
I love this move too because they had just communicated that Beastmaster TP top, he used his roar, he was leaving the area, so they're like, he's probably not going to stick in the area. A small quick gate move, get this kill. Very, very clever.
And also the fact that they knew that they couldn't really abuse the fact that the Night Stalkers alone is still a very tough target to kill. Yep. The other lane's where to be, and
I mean,
they make it work.
DM has literally kept this lane at his tower like this for 3 minutes or so far. So very good on him to be able to do that, but of course does open up the opportunity for Heroic to make an aggressive move as top.
They're going to strike back at P-Vision. Whisper to fall. Schofield looking pretty dead as well. So just as quickly as they get the 2 kills top,
quick
as
punish.
the action continues, P-Vision returns to that top lane and make sure that they then secure some positive action for Satanic to get involved.
Love that we're seeing these early moves already coming in though. Pre-10 minutes, we've got 8 kills. Heroic, looks like Analog will get the benefit of getting this power rune again after getting the haste rune. Another very good one for him.
And these sort of movements, they're only going to continue, right, in the frequency that we're going to be getting them from these 2 mids each time the ultimates are up. And also DM, he very shortly is going to be prepared to get involved, especially around these nighttime moments.
I think he's got the Dominator finished, right? So pretty early timing for this Night Stalker who's been left on an island to have this pickup. He's coming out in the Courier. He's got the Dark Ascension too if he wants to use it to get involved and get on top of the puck too, even though it is nighttime. See what the next move is going to be.
I mean, so far, you know, if you're both of these teams, you know, from Heroic side, who is it that they're most concerned about is getting the space? Because sure, DM's getting locked down bottom, but you know, Satanic, he's getting a good chance and a good area at the map, especially with the security of both supports being in the area. So hit probably a pretty solid timing on his Radiance.
Yeah, I'm not sure if you're too... You want to obviously think about these things, but I don't know if you're too fussed because you're also getting a lot, right?
Sure.
It's like Whisper's getting shut down, but your Ursa and your Puck are having a phenomenal time right now, so I think at the moment things are pretty chill for them.
Yeah, we can see the Battle Fury just about a few hundred gold away from coming out to Yuma.
Here comes the smoke. They've got what? Snapfire ult is up, so kisses are at the ready.
There we go.
See if Heroic is ready for this move.
And they do have to be a little bit careful in the sense that Satanic is very close to having enough money for his relic, so if the fight goes wrong, might hurt him a little bit on that timing.
They're bringing the summons, though. They've got the Dominator, they've got the Ancient Black Dragon, which comes in.
You know, Yuma, they've already pulled back right up to the tier 2. So
They seem to know.
This move ain't going to find anything. Might get them the chance to pressure and bring down the tower, but catching Yuma, unlikely.
Yeah, very good awareness coming out from Heroic here to not hemorrhage anything in the mid lane. TP, though, toward mid. Or in the bottom lane. TP toward mid. Ducalis is setting up. They do have that roar available with the kisses. Power rune will be bottom. Illusion rune.
Nice one here for no one if he does get jumped. Gives him an extra chance to slip away. Very close to his Aghanims. Just about 1,200 gold off it here for the mid Beastmaster.
How is
net worth right now?
How's the stacks for both sides? I feel like it's been fairly even. I actually don't know if we did get a counter for that, but maybe a couple more on the side of Heroic. This is a tech that I've seen only Heroic do because they're the only ones picking Pudge, but we've seen this a couple times now. They do this, smoke in the sea with the Pudge to be able to farm the Ancients freely to get him a better timing. So
that's pretty nice.
Yeah, it'll help his game.
Super safe.
He was struggling, he'll need that. So that will get him toward it. He will have at least one component of the Aghanims. But slowed down a fair bit anyway, still on Whisper. And he doesn't have the luxury. I mean, he has the luxury of being able to hook creeps, of course, to get that extra farm, but he doesn't have the luxury of a Night Stalker with the Dominator. He just sends the Dominator creep to do his business. Get that extra farm that we've seen so much throughout this tournament is. We'll watch the Dark Troll Summoner. It's going to start cutting some creep waves, probably.
Yeah, King Jungles.
He's ready for it.
See what he can do to deal with it.
Okay, he'll disrupt the stack.
As well. Let's clear this out because they don't want to give DM the chance to start grabbing free waves.
And they'll kill it pretty effectively. Farmed absolutely nothing.
Yeah, so. Honestly, that's probably one of the better carries in the game, right, for dealing with these Helm of the Dome creeps. Kills them very, very fast.
Very true. They did the same thing with the Meatball the other day, if you remember. These heroes are fantastic at killing these Dominator creeps, so influx the gold for them.
Top lane.
They wanted to find it, looks like, here.
Be a good time to strike. I mean, Satanic very, very close to having his Radiance timing complete.
Also setting up around this Shrine of Wisdom. 9 class playing around the vision.
Whisper ready to walk up. Balance strike talking about gets the chance to jump in. He's good escape there for 9 class. Can he keep this up?
Split second. He's got another jump. He's gone.
It's a bit too tricky to catch him now. 9 class should be fine.
Typical 9 class being very disruptive, giving so much information with 3 heroes show.
For a blind hook, but they don't have any information here.
That would be pretty wild if he's able to find him here.
Just going to keep eyes on Yuma. Whenever Rocket comes in, but again, 9 class a step ahead.
They're probably keeping track of that experience that he's sapping as well, so Yuma. He'd be annoying. He's giving info. It's giving time for these items to come in from P-Vision. I believe that Aghanim to the Beastmaster, it's done. No one is evading what the name is. Yuma.
The push here, but the roll's going to be set up on Yuma. The kisses are coming in as well. Dream going down to them. Yuma's able to get the range off and starts to back away. 9 class falling low here is Analog and Schofield. Look, checks him down, but no one's able to finish off Schofield first. Analog has to back up now. 9 class able to survive.
DM trying to find that angle with the Dark Ascension for the puck, but can't quite. Another, I mean, a good invasive play here coming out from P-Vision, but it only nets them the clockwork. Radiance is done. Whisper will find more money.
About halfway towards the Aghanims, and as we saw just there, Satanic hitting the 3:15-minute Radiance done and online.
And that second Dominator is soon finished for 9 class.
Schofield, maybe considering something around the mid. Needs Analog to be a little bit closer though, so they can bring in the damage required. And King Jungle's a little on the mana right now to contribute.
It's funny how Schofield, even in this type of game, he's still queuing up the Aghanims. Doesn't deviate his build, even though the other games when he got it early, he was kind of crushing the game. This one, it's a lot slower, but he's still going for his build.
Here we go. Smoke time here from the supports of Heroic. Whisper ready to join.
How long on the Roar? The Roar is back up. There's no nighttime, though. That's what they're taking advantage of here. DM did pop the Ascension earlier.
It's been hit by a scan, so P-Vision know what's coming. Can Heroic really still stand a chance of catching them by surprise here?
The rocket for vision.
It's going to give the Can Whisper line up the hook. Ooh, not quite, but the coil does connect before the cookie jumps there. Hook shot comes in as well, but it's deep. Backup's coming in from P-Vision. They'll be able to lay down the Crystal Maiden ult here. Destroyed Ducalis, but the TPs from P-Vision continue to come through. They're ready to turn. Balance strike on a King Jungle. Satanic moves in to kill off the CM as they're ready to see if they can maybe catch Analog as well. He's got the jump back up to the orb, so should be fine.
I love the aggression, but it's a little deep this time. They were able to get punished. Their P-Vision, they're TPing in, might be able to pressure this tier 1 themselves now. Might actually get the tier 1 first now because of this move.
Yeah, pretty hard to push Satanic and no one off the tower, especially with some of the ults expended by Heroic.
And they had to use so much to get the snap there. The hook missed, the coil was broken. As Dakalis
gets himself another one there. Finds Schofield alone up top. They got the burst to do it solo.
Wait, got it by himself. Look at that. Maybe a Dominator creep also assisted, but either way, able to find that grab. Because, yeah, we did see the creep.
Yuma
though, with the blink.
Indeed, with the blink, Reveal comes in and gets a kill for himself. Back up to level 12 now on the Ursa.
Now, Yuma is having a phenomenal game here
so
far.
close. Look at the two carries, right? Pretty much
so close.
As close as it gets, really.
This game,
progress of these two, and both of them not afraid to turn up to the action, right? You know, when you look at P-Vision's heroes, they've got a good ways to kind of get Satanic on the Lifestealer onto the front lines, and Heroic, obviously with the Blink Dagger Ursa, Yuma, any sort of fight that happens around a tower that's going to be set up by this Puck analog with Dream Coil, Yuma's going to want to make sure he's there.
Now we'll see how the economy game goes, right? Because, as we said, Heroic playing a more honest approach toward the game. No Dominators. P-Vision, the double Dominators are up. A 2K separation at the moment, and a lot of that is the Monkey King's extra net worth, of course, over those supports at the moment. Roar, the shield rune gets off.
It's giving him a fair bit of protection and should be easily enough to allow him to jump out of this one. So the Royal will push bot the tower. 9class is there with the backup, but Analog forces at the ready, gets himself away from the follow-up to that boundless strike. They'll put the nighttime though, DM, closing the gap. Yuma ready to jump in aggressively. The kiss is coming in, but Analog's got another orb up. Jumps back under the tier 2 tower. Satanic and 9class going to kill off of King Jungles over to the tier 2.
Yuma
has to enrage, get out of the Wukong's command. Whisper not quite able to find a chance to get anyone hooked in over towards the tier 2 tower. So P-Vision back off. They don't take any casualties themselves. They're just able to get that kill against King Jungle's CM.
A lot expended again there, though. Roar was used, but no one's able to secure himself this amp damage. Roar going to be back up in 30. Heroic, are they going to look to make a move to try to punish now that this Dark Ascension's down and Nighttime's down?
It's got to be appealing. I mean, we saw that earlier play. That it is that raw timing that's kind of everything when it comes to what Heroic can try and punish when it's down.
And Whisper does have a big timing now. His Aghanims is done, so a lot stronger in the fray in terms of the aggression he can put on, but also just disrupting the healing and things from the Beastmaster, right? It does do quite a bit versus Beast. So they're feeling confident to get a bit aggressive here since those ultis are on cooldown. And we do have to mention, you know, you talked about their analog adjusting his build. You're playing versus Night Stalker, you need a force staff either on yourself or supports. Probably wanting it on the puck as well, too, so he did go for it. And he'll have a blink next soon, too.
Yeah, he's going to be very slippery on the puck. Now, we'll have the tools to indeed dance around these heroes that are trying to get in on top of him.
See if we see perhaps an Orchid built up at some point. I know we used to see some of these Monkey Kings go for it, but maybe not yet. Maybe later down the lines could be something he thinks about versus that puck.
Overall, though, we can see kind of during the slower paces and periods of this game, P-Vision able to make that little bit more out of the map. And a 3K gold lead here as the game starts to slow back down a little bit.
They do just farm that bit faster with these Dominators, and yeah, having this Monkey King able to play like this, but Analog.
He's feeling pretty safe. I mean, it's just going to take a lot to lock him down, right, and stop him from being able to slide, blink, and orb away. They do need a pretty perfect combo of skills to come down on the puck to punish him.
Nighttime is hit. DM. Ult also at the ready very soon. The Tormentor, it's a bit different since it is with this Night Stalker, so it's on the bottom side. So unlike usual where it is up top. P-Vision is going to be setting up for that one very quickly. It doesn't look like Heroic is in any way to contest it. They'll throw a rocket to Scout.
So the shot.
Who gets it?
It's going to go away off DM.
That's a really nice one to get for free.
Heroic. They'll make something happen elsewhere, though. Into the pit. Drop the freezing field as well. They need to speed this up.
I think so as well. I was about to say they might want to use every spell as possible that they can to damage it. Looks like they should get away with it.
Yeah, P-Vision, they do smoke up now, but it's a little too late, Roshan. It's going to all be Heroic. Streamer's going to have that Aegis secured for the next play. So, P-Vision, they get a Tormentor, they get a Shard, but Heroic do manage to find that timing to get the Ursa in the pit and secure that second life.
Balance in all things. No one, a full BKB finished up now for this Beastmaster. He is going to be very difficult to bring down. Even though they have BKB piercing disables, the damage unless the Ursa gets the fully free hit onto him, could be problematic now to deal with this beast early. But could just be a bit of a slowdown time. Both teams might be content with sitting back, finishing up that next item. Yuma in particular, his BKB.
That's going to be so important, just to be able to give him the chance to run in and not worry about having the silence come into play, stopping him from getting that enrage off.
DM is the big nuisance for sure versus that Puck and the Ursa. They have to be very careful in terms of this game. I'm wondering if Analog even at some point does pivot toward a BKB. Sure, not yet, but maybe one of the next items, even though we don't see it too often on the Puck. Depending on how he gets tripped up from the Night Stalker, we'll have to see if he does want to adapt.
Satanic, he's got his plans completely lined up.
Night Class is spotted.
He's going to get a hook shot in here from Schofield. Night Class, unlikely to get much back up here. He's able to jump out over the sharp boundless strike.
He's actually going to survive.
He's away. No one. Coming in from the high ground, maybe see if they can get an angle in on Analog, but it's very, very difficult. Analog at the ready, and Yuma, he's going to be around the mid, ready to grab that bottle and hold on to this amplified damage rune for the next team fight play that they'll look for. And you'd imagine Heroic,
they have vision bottom.
They're going to want to do something. Whisper, looking for the setup on a DM. DM popping the ult off onto the side of the map. He's going to be able to sneak away. Nothing they can do about that right now whilst the hook shot's still on cooldown from Schofield. So DM will get away. But there's 3 minutes of opportunity really for Yuma to try and force a play with the rest of the team. And you can see how aggressive he is. He's ready to try and find some action. With the BKB, amplified damage rune, and the Aegis, I mean, P-Vision, they've got to be prepared for this aggression that Heroic's going to be looking for.
They just have so much info getters, right? We see the Night Stalker and the Monkey King just constantly getting information. Again, they see Heroic.
Whisper, some of the blink. He's only going to find the helm of the Dom Creep.
So they avoid the smoke immediately, just from that little play there from the Night Stalker. Able to gather that information, as you see time and time again.
See Yuma there as well, was maybe see if he could find the chance to get the solo catch on Ducalis, but Ducalis headed elsewhere.
P-Vision's just avoiding until they get these timings.
And they're getting a lot of the timings. The gold lead increasing with every moment here for P-Vision. Up to now 7K. Gold lead here, 23 minutes in. Heroic, they're desperate for blood, but P-Vision just aren't giving it to them.
Just avoiding every single time. Satanic. SNY is now finished up too, so he's got that status resistance versus that bite in particular. So a lot safer for him to survive. Now Blink also for no one, so easier for him to pick and choose his target for the roar. P-Vision is slowing the game down into a more and more comfortable position to be able to fight versus Aegis. They're very strong in team fights. Night Class.
He is able to grab him off the trees. Has to dismember. It's going to be enough here slowing him down in the rocks. So a little bit of action. The Heroics have to get back on the table there. Night Class gets caught out.
It's been a long time since they found a kill. It's just been avoidance from P-Vision. But look at the Dark Troll Summoner. Night Class dies, but so he lives on.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah. And there's another one right above it, by the way, too. Cutting the next wave that maybe was getting through.
Let's see what Heroic do about this.
They're trying to hunt them.
I mean, what do you do, Heroic, in this situation? You want to find the fighting, you want to kind of get this action going, but P-Vision are just not letting themselves sort of trip up.
That's a good question. You might have to start looking to play the economy game yourself, or just maybe go for more crazy type of plays forward, but that's a risky play. Going for such aggressive dives when you know that P-Vision's playing on this defensive footing, it's dangerous.
P-Vision just getting so much DM.
He's in.
He's got his eyes on Schofield. No one's ready to back him up as well, so P-Vision will be able to grab themselves a kill here.
I thought use the roar.
I mean, the game's kind of at that
It's
pace
slowed down.
I don't think he cares. Yeah, he's ready to drop that cooldown. We'll see top lane Yuma having to back off here as Satanic's starting to run him down a bit with the Radiance. Won't want to chase him down too much. Still 40 seconds left on the Aegis on Ursa.
Will find himself a Dominator creep.
And that's that
Nova
timing.
finished already.
I mean, he's pretty terrifying.
Oh, and
4-star ain't going to save you anymore if he gets on top of him.
And this is a Night Stalker who is in a lane versus a CM Ursa. And look what he's got. He's got Blink, Nullifier, Dominator at the 25-minute mark. It looks like he was in a lane that was pretty much free for him. That's going to be very problematic for them.
Yeah, because now it's at the point where Heroic, they couldn't quite find any action. Now if they do, it's not necessarily going to be guaranteed at all that they come out on top of these skirmishes. P-Vision will be ready to turn.
And this is that time. We'll wait for a second. Night Class again.
Should be able to finish him off a little too far away. And now, at this point, they've got the damage. So
good kill.
They're getting something. They're getting kind of a Night Class kill here and there to kind of keep that overall gold lead that P-Vision have against them kind of closed up, at least not growing any further than it did in the last couple of minutes. Still around that 6 to now down to 5k gold. So Heroic definitely starting to slow down the advance that P-Vision was gaining on them.
And Yuma is still farming very nicely, right? Almost neck and neck feeling confident. The Basher's done. I was going to mention this, so for Analog, let's see if he does adapt in the build as we were talking about, because that Nullifier's done for the Night Stalker. So now if he gets on top of him, Silence plus Nullifier, it can really cause some problems. But at the moment, it looks like he's content with just going for scale. And if you can get away with this type of itemization on Puck, on Ursa, your lineup does scale super hard. So, yeah, curious to see if this does work out for them, because they're not overreacting to the side of P-Vision. They're just playing their own game, and they're like, okay, let's see what happens. Let's see what gets better.
Always had that threat of the high ground defense, right? You kind of consider P-Vision's lineup, you know, the cores and one of the supports, it's melee heroes, right? So when it comes to hitting the high ground down the line, you're lining yourself up for some pretty tasty hooks to be coming in from Whisper.
No, absolutely. And Whisper, you know, we didn't mention him, but he also has his BKB blink done. He's actually matching the farm of DM, even without the Dominator. I guess those extra kills do matter, of course.
On the hunt themselves now.
See what they can find.
Schofield. Oh, they're going to make the jump forward. They'll get him. Very easy kill around the tower.
No funny business, but look at the wraparound here. Heroic. Looking for a sneaky play.
Maybe if they can kind of catch P-Vision starting to split up, but at the moment P-Vision's staying pretty tight to one another. He's going to get buyback from Schofield. They'll make the jump straight away to Carlos. They'll clean him up. Wilcox command of the Valor Strike. Drop down on a Whisper, but he's pretty tanky. Dreamcore comes in onto the two of them as Alan jumps forward with the first Yuma. Trying to look for a target, but the ethereal form at the moment for no one stopping Yuma from being able to get the right clicks in. Now it ends. They're able to continue to chase the Beastmaster out of the fight. Schofield gets beat up by Satanic, but that chase at the top against the Beastmaster succeeds. They kill no one off. All in all, I mean, they did lose Analog. They did lose Schofield a second time, but they are able to take 3 kills away from P-Vision.
Satanic and DM want to go back in.
Fight might not be over yet, indeed. King Jungle's getting jumped. Yuma's going to try and help out. He's getting the swipe stacked up on the DM, but Satanic comes in with a heal. Still the Yuma, keeping those swipes stacked up onto DM. The damage building up. The bash comes in. DM.
He's still alive.
He's actually going to be fine for now. Okay, walks back in, accepts his death. Did get the Nullifier off onto Yuma as Satanic will run him down. Good jump to the low ground.
Can he stick on him, the blink?
He's going to blink up in a second. Good jukes as Yuma will manage to dance away from Satanic.
Oh, what a cool fight. I mean, the wraparound for Heroic almost works beautifully. The problem in that fight was, honestly, DM killed Analog Photo Zero. That Nullifier that he got, he just completely sandwiched him and brought him down. Satanic and Yuma will survive at the end of it all, but Satanic comes out a bit more ahead in the end of it all. Up to level 21, 20k net worth now for him. I think he does have to adapt somehow. I'm checking Analog, what he wants to build. Okay, he's going Hurricane Pike. So he's going to use that on the Night Stalker instead to have that be the counter rather than having to build a full other item to protect himself.
Because what if you Hurricane Pike the enemy, even if you're nullified right, it still pushes back.
Yep, it does not dispel it off of you.
You're still able to get pushed back.
Exactly. So this is if he had this in the last fight, he likely lives, and it could have been a completely different outcome where Heroic maybe comes out even a bit more in a good position there. But as it stands, P-Vision, after that fight Satanic, he is cruising. Almost an AC finished also for him.
Oh, yeah. You see, on the other side, Yuma, he's going to want to try and get the Abyssal as soon as he can, and he's got it now. So Abyssal Blade done. We did see how kind of clutch the Bashers were coming in that last fight. He's able to drop down the active on someone, should have the chance of tearing them apart pretty quickly. Now, obviously, that last fight, they did get no one, but it did take them a long time, though. They had to really chase him out of the team fight and stay on top of him to get that kill.
And that was them with the positioning, right? They got that wraparound, and it's still, they didn't get those kills almost immediately. And speaking of which, P-Vision, smoke, invis, sorry, on no one, looking for another play. Whisper, he's under vision.
It's a setup. Straight in with the raw, bringing in Satanic. They easily have the damage to tear apart the punch.
Satanic gets the last hit as well, too. Even more HP, up to monster kill. 418, 421 bonus HP now for him. He is getting very tanky.
Difficulty definitely rising here for Heroic.
Does feel like that, absolutely. Analog, he's got the pike, does get the phase shift off. Can he play it around this?
It's tricky to chase, Silence comes to an end. Nullifier will catch on to him, but no, he's able to jump out with indeed the phase shift dodge and the orb. 9+ is sweeping across, so Analog has to continue to play on his toes there, because they're on the jump, the Silence is back up, they get the jump on him, and this time, he's not able to jaunt away.
And in the meanwhile, too, they get a rush. P-Vision is starting to accelerate things.
They really are. About 500 gold away from that AC now on Satanic.
No one's got the roar ready. They bought him a gem earlier, too, after that last fight. So always in a good position to know if anyone is stalking him. Schofield. They found him.
They've got the roar. course, King Jungle still loses his life for that effort.
This lifesteal is just getting way too big. Just the difference between him and Yuma now at this point. Yuma can't do it on his own. No one jumps forward.
It's definitely
4 minutes on this Aegis.
It's going to get to the point where the question is how strong of a high ground defense can Heroic pull together? Yuma will find a grab out to the side whilst Carlos is separate from the rest of the team, but now the rest of the team's ready to close in. Defensive hook will drag Yuma away, as Yuma will get away with that one. Gets the kill, gets out with the help of Whisper.
P-Vision sticking in the area. Satanic still feeling as strong as possible.
Definitely, the pressure's going to fall onto the shoulders of Whisper. Can he get these crazy angles on the high ground defense to get those hooks, pull apart the attempts from P-Vision when they look to try and close up towards the barracks, towards those tier 3s?
It does feel like
that's going to be their next best shot.
Yeah. It feels like it's very dependent on the cores in this game on Heroic. It's been a pretty quiet game from the support zone, I have to be honest. Schofield not really having much of a game this time on the clockwork. Maybe in this lane, absolutely, but right now he's 0-7 and he hasn't even built any items to buff up his allies either. He's built completely for himself.
It's definitely one of those risky builds.
It is.
Sometimes it looks great, sometimes it looks like the support you encounter in your past. It's a risky move. It's not paying off so far, but Schofield will say, hey, this game's still young. We're only 32 minutes.
Hey, it's very true.
We're going to hit the 60 minutes, and Schofield's absolutely still got a chance if it goes 30 minutes more to maybe come in with those plays, and he'll say, hey, you know what? The Axe Rush, it was absolutely warranted.
We'll have to see if it does pay off. Because he can do still some really nice stuff with the Aghanims. I'm only critiquing him a little bit extra because it's Schofield, but he can scout a lot, right? And in this game, scouting has definitely been pretty crucial. So
and you clear the waves, right? You can prolong the game.
You absolutely can.
Being spammed down. So as I say, Schofield, he's ready to keep playing this game for another 30 minutes. Let's see if they can try and hold on that long. Because P-Vision against them, they're continuing to hit these timings. They'll get themselves another shard. This time goes the way of Satanic. They've got 2 minutes of Aegis, so very likely to bring the fight. Rogue, they've got to do the best to kind of limit the casualties and try and not lose too much against these next moves from P-Vision, because otherwise P-Vision, they could be moments away from shutting down again.
Absolutely. P-Vision, they're just getting a bit too much. It feels like out of the map is shrinking it. All of Heroic is having to follow each other because of this annoying vision game that we've seen from P-Vision, so they can't really separate from each other because they just might hemorrhage 4 kills as we saw before. If they split up on Heroic, heroes could die all over the place, so they have to kind of stick together like this versus the P-Vision strategy.
Refresher on no one.
Continues to grow.
They can find the opening to get that sort of setup, the silence, the roars on towards Yuma. If any of these fights really where they take Yuma out, the damage, it's just not going to be there for Heroic to tackle these 3 beefy cores of P-Vision.
I think the only reason this game has felt as close as it is because Yuma is having a flawless game.
Absolutely.
He's 6-0. If he had died even once, this game might just feel completely out of control.
He's holding on pretty hard here for the team, Yuma.
Another amp damage to spawn Satanic. We'll be waiting at the bottle at the ready. They're just going to pick it up. All right, they want to just pressure with it. So 1 minute left on this Aegis that he wants to use this amp damage with.
He wants to get in. Get right in there. So start to bring in the mid push.
What's the response going to be?
Not going to be able to push them off the tier 2, that's for sure. So they'll have to let the mid fall.
There's a sneaky ward that has been placed down bottom also quite some time ago that could catch Heroic off guard when getting back to their base.
And at the same time, we'll see if Heroic themselves are able to get some sneaky vision outside of the base to set up for those high ground hooks from Whisper.
Whisper's looking for it.
He's going to try for 9+. Is he going to get him? He'll get the Dismember off onto Satanic, but Satanic is perfectly fine. They have to be careful about how they go about tackling the Lifestealer, and indeed they'll be able to pull back. They do not want to put too much into trying to go on this Lifestealer, especially whilst he still had a few seconds left of Aegis. Will start to now come to an end.
Daytime will hit. Looks like P-Vision will back up with that. Continue to play that economy game as they continue to grow and grow and grow in terms of that economy. Seeing 9 class, he's gone full greed this game, as he tends to, but Diffusal into the Scotty next, so it's going to be very, very annoying to play against for these cores, in particular the Pudge and the Ursa. The fights just, they continue to feel harder and harder and harder for Heroic, and I'm wondering how and when it's going to feel that much easier. Perhaps it's when Yuma does have that MKB, but again, it does feel like it's starting to feel like him versus the world a lot in this one.
Still just sort of little things like the ghost on no one that makes it hard for them to get jumped. He's going to try for King Jungles. King Jungles at the moment kind of juking him in terms of the vision, so A lot of time of this BKB being put to waste. Still will get the Roar, though, at the end of it, allowing Satanic to close up and take down another.
Hey, Owen, that's actually a really good call that you did mention there, right? Like, Yuma has to do so much, and he has no nullifier.
No.
So they can just dance around him, either with these Ghost Scepters or Force Staffs in particular. Very hard heroes to bring down with the Monkey King as well, too. He can just bound this out in a lot of situations, too. So definitely hard for Yuma in terms of how he wants to progress in this later stage.
So Refresher being queued up next. I imagine what the plan is going to be. If Whisper can come... Oh, no one! He's in there! The jump on a Yuma! Schofield comes in with a hook shot in the cog to hold the back. Schofield will fall for sure. Yuma, though, with that play from Schofield, should be able to get out. Did cost him his BKB, though. Had to use it.
85 seconds, no BKB, no one's in.
Gonna have the buyback coming straight away from Schofield. Does not want to allow P-Vision to get away with that.
He's got another board. Still has it at the ready end. Double BKB if he wants to have it for the side of no one. Forcing a buyback again. That's 2 from Schofield.
Goal difference starting
keeps growing.
Pretty crazy now. 20k gold advantage here for P-Vision 37 minutes in.
Satanic is getting close to being maxed out too. He's got to believe that David's finished up. His axe is going to get consumed too. He is massive. And there's that's Scotty's finished up now too for Night Class. The supports, I say supports, these cores now on P-Vision are cores.
Absolutely. I mean, Night Class, he's definitely not got any problem with this game going on. He's more than happy to get to the stage where he might just be 6-slotted as well.
Heroic has to do something chaotic, and that's what they're looking for here. Smoking out, there's no Dark Ascension, there's no nighttime, so looking to perhaps take advantage of that here. But P-Vision are all so far back.
This could be a bit risky stepping out on a map like this.
They're not even going to find Paulus though. Just farming it here.
Do they find
very
anyone?
interesting spot.
Even if they get up here onto Satanic, it's going to be tough to take him down before backup is inbound.
Oh, and Yuma also has no BKB, so it's 15 seconds on cooldown.
Once the wrists, he's going to get it.
Satanic.
They're going to make the jump. They're going to see if they can try and burst him. The damage is stacking up. It's enough.
They got him.
They killed him off, but the Roar comes in. P-Vision ready to punish. Yuma going to be able to jump away from now. Refreshers pop. Whisper holding back no one, though. Will give the chance for Yuma to continue to retreat. It looks
90
like
seconds.
They're going to try and go for more. The balance shot will stop Yuma from getting his hands onto no one.
What a play from the split second. He was a split second from getting that infest off and perhaps surviving.
And it's so
what a play.
As you said, to have the foresight to go for that play, despite the fact that your own carry, his BKB was still on cooldown. That could have gone horribly wrong, but they get away with it and take away at least a 5k gold. You know, sort of lead that P-Vision did have. Down to 15k.
And Owen, look what just spawned. Roche is up in 60 seconds without the life stealer. If they able to scout that, be absolutely massive from Heroic. What a heads up play. I think that's, honestly, that might just be how they have to play for this game. They can't just like sit back. They kind of have to do these chaotic plays and find this life stealer.
So
very nice
keep this
play.
up there, Heroic. P-Vision next time round, they're definitely going to make sure that the backup is ready if Satanic does get caught, even in the deeper areas of their map.
Oh, and they're going to get, looks like 2 T2s and maybe even that Roche if they do back up for it right away. They scouted.
And you've got to imagine again, when you go for that play and you carry Yuma still at the BKB and cooldown, that was probably Yuma making that play.
Yeah, I mean, that's...
It definitely feels like Yuma being that sort of solid rock that's bringing the team together.
High risk, high
giving them a
reward.
chance here in what so far looks to be a very difficult game still for Heroic. They'll finish the Roche. Aegis here for Yuma.
They killed it before it could shift sides too, so a good aggressive play. They're coming out from Heroic. A massive turnaround.
Yeah, they're coming back swinging here, Heroic.
Almost have completely recovered this game just off that one move, finding Satanic. A 10,000 gold swing. Level 26 now for the Ursa. He's actually gone for the double Earth Shock, which I feel like most times you see the overpower lately, but an interesting little adaptation also for him. Maybe just wanted to have that extra bit of a range too is going to be nice for these fights.
A big step up in damage output also for Heroic. The Plasma now online for Analog. And this is the thing, right? Whilst there's been a little bit of a difference between the carries that Human has now pretty much closed against that of Satanic. Now when you look at the other cores, it's pretty even.
It is.
We have Analog pretty much in the same position as no one. And Demon Whisper, they're in a very similar situation gold-wise as well. Overall, the majority of that difference,
it's the supports. Exactly, so. And Yuma now, full another item picked up. He's got the Swift Blink, they have the Bludger, the 4 minutes with this Aegis. And they have this refresher shard on Whisper. This refresher shard could just change everything too, right? If he gets a double bite, full duration on the core.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, absolutely. That gives more than enough time for Yuma to kill anyone that Whisper's got his hands on.
And yeah, Cheese, right? Cheese for the puck. He essentially has a second life to protect versus that nullifier combo that can come out from the Night Stalker. I mean, looks like we're in for a treat here.
They're not afraid to fight still, even though this Aegis Cheese and Refresher Shard is on Heroic's side. They're smoked up themselves, and they're ready to try and get the shot.
They spent their gold too. No buyback on DM, no buyback in Satanic.
Well, let's see what they do here. They find Yuma with the nullifier. Jump in from Whisper though, who missed the hook. Nightglass, he's going to get to the hook shot in the face here. By Schofield, corner to the side. There's Nightglass gone. Back in the midst of the fight. Whisper will fall. Analog, he's going to try and push forward. Face shift just in time before the roll is going to be coming in from no one. You know, Yuma makes the jump forward. Looks to DeCarlos for the full stop. Gives DeCarlos back to safety. Buyback's now coming out from both sides.
Analog alive.
Face shifts there just in time. Analog, can he jump out of this one? He cannot. He'll get the coil off, but Analog's gone. And that probably should be the cue for Heroic to get out of it.
Trying to disengage, but looking to reset. Yuma's thinking about it.
He's considering. He's under this observer ward from P-Vision though. They're going to set down further vision, knowing that Heroic will try to look for this risky play. They do get the D-ward though, so Heroic, they're going to know that P-Vision was maybe prepared for this.
It's eyes on Whisper. He did use the buyback in this fight.
DM. And 9 class just sort of stepping forward. Heroic. They made the call to back off. I think as soon as they sort of popped the sentry down, saw that P-Vision had vision on Yuma, maybe trying to get back in at the end of that fight, they kind of called it. They said, we don't want to go for this anymore.
Whisper dies with almost getting nothing off. He got his BKB off, but wasn't able to get the secondary one, got completely locked down. And then Analog, he jumps in to try to help his buddy. I think he uses Cheese and gets Greater Healing Lotus and still can't reset and get out of that fight. So still getting tripped up by the silence. Even with all these defensive tools that he's tried to go for, no BKB, no way to just prevent it completely.
Yeah, now P-Vision, they're going to be more than happy to try and look for the play there. I mean, we saw them not afraid to fight and being able to kind of come out even on the results of that little bit of a skirmish. Now that there's no Aegis, no Cheese on Heroic, P-Vision, they're absolutely going to want to try and go again. The side Schofield, he'll get the setup, catch the two of them in the cogs, he'll die for this, but Yuma's able to get the jump, they get the dismembering onto DM.
He's gone for 90.
Schofield happily trading his life there for the core of P-Vision.
And it's the gem as well, too, so a big pickup. Great connection there from Schofield. I don't even think that was the initial target that he wanted. That hook shot actually hits the smoke target that was blocking Ducalis. Nice little pickup there from Schofield again.
No doubt about it. Even though P-Vision have maintained the lead for the majority of this game, they're definitely going to feel shaken up a little bit with how well Heroic has proven to be able to hold the game, punch back.
I mean, and Yuma just continues to just play almost flawless. Like he's 7-0-3. He's truly being the rock for the team.
That's pretty insane. Yeah, if
it
you
is
consider
pretty
sort of
nuts.
the amount of action that's been starting to go on in these later stages, the fact that they've not been able to get this Ursa at all is rather remarkable.
Doing a great job of keeping that core-to-core matchup versus this Lifestealer.
Yeah.
That's why they wanted it. That's why they wanted this last pick, because we do see Heroic smoked up again. Still 30 seconds, no Night Stalker.
And I guess this is the thing as well for Yuma, why it's working so well for him in these fights. He's just got so many heroes around him that are more than happy to throw their own lives into the front lines, right? You got Whisper jumping in, Analog ready to make these aggressive moves straight underneath the entire team of P-Vision, and Schofield always ready to initiate with a hook shot. So with all this stuff being thrown at P-Vision, it's very difficult for them to isolate and deal with the bear.
And he's not the one getting silenced, right? It's the Night Stalkers having to go for the puck. Because if Analog gets left alone in these fights, Analog might run rampant. So, yeah, it's a good way that they've been balancing off of each other of who tanks which spells. We do see Heroic still looking for potentially another play, but not going to be the case. Schofield just has to continue hugging Yuma. And he is just, using this Aghanims to just scout tree lines.
Yep.
Every single time he can, he's shooting the rockets, looking for 9 class.
Oh, it's doing a lot. I mean, it's definitely, as I say, getting closer to that period of the game where the greediness of the clock definitely feels good. You're happy to have him on the team.
BKB also finished up for KJ, so that Frostbite, or that Freezing Field is going to start having some impact as well, too.
A lot of money on no one. What do you think he's considering next? 5.7K coming up in the bank for the Beastmaster.
That's a good question, because they already have the AC. He already has... Yeah, I'm not sure, actually.
Could you look for a Hex, or does a Hex not really do too much?
I think Hex is probably the best one. I was thinking Hex or maybe even just Linken's to protect and block this Abyssal Blade in particular on a core, but...
That's true. Maybe help someone kind of for the dismember efforts, right?
Yeah, because there's a couple of different single target abilities that can be very annoying this game, so
like it.
he's got options. I'm not too sure, though. I think he's also debating which one is best so far. This gold lead, it's been kind of sitting at a similar amount for a lot of this game,
really
but
has.
Heroic has been able to play around that beautifully.
And it does feel like each time that P-Vision's had the lead, they haven't really left their side of the map too much.
True. Yeah.
They're very much holding back, seemingly sort of waiting until they themselves have kind of like these 6-slotted, maybe, as we said, the 6-slotted supports like 9 class. You know, he's very close to having that BKB on top of the Diffusal and Skadi.
Just having more difficulties getting the scouting that they did earlier on. They're gonna go for another smoke play, looking for something here. No one still has not used his gold, but he will he will be able to boots of travel and buy back into the team fight. So maybe that's just the thing that he's prioritizing most.
Sure. I mean, he should still have a little bit of money on top of that, but indeed maybe not quite enough to pick up a full item. So really considering his options.
It's probably just in case he has to buy boots of travel 2 and rejoin the fight rather than just bots 1. It could be something along those lines as we do see the fight coming toward this top left side.
There we go.
The Rockets will give some information.
That's true. Heroic know that P-Vision's coming for them.
Whisper on the front.
Shot off the mark. And there's the BKB. No one. He's going to make the jump in. They're going to try and go all out in onto Whisper. Bound to strike the side, holds down the Glove, and there's Yuma jumping in, looking for DM. DM's able to get out to safety, though.
Whisper's gone.
He's got to back up now with his teammates dead and the BKB and Enrage coming to an end for the Ursa. He's got to run. King Jungle will put the BKB, but the physical damage tears him apart. P-Vision coming out on top and maybe not even done yet. They've still got their eyes on Analog. He'll get the phase shift off. So if he can jump out of this one, he can't at all. P-Vision take down the 4 of them.
He spent his gold on the puck, too.
I mean, they all have
destroyed.
No buybacks available here on the 4 dead on Heroic. This could hurt them big time. Only Yuma alive. We'll see how much P-Vision's able to take away from them.
This could just be a Rax without the other 2 cores available. Yuma's got his work cut out for him. The Dream start to the fight for P-Vision. They kill the Pudge. He gets nothing off. Whisper, I believe he gets a bite off at the end, but the damage is already done there. Complete chaos coming out from Heroic, and P-Vision just playing the fight beautifully. Look at DM even hiding Yuma around during that coil.
Absolutely. It's just too slippery, too fast. Can't stay on top of the Night Stalker there in that situation, Yuma. It's P-Vision. Here comes the push up to the base of Heroic. Let's see how much they can take away from them.
It's at least 1 set.
It's tier 3. And the barracks gone. Still a painful amount of time for Heroic, where they're going to have to sit back without the presence of Whisper or Analog for the defense.
They'll pop the glyph here. But yeah, still 30 seconds without the puck. They need every single one of their elements.
There's no way the 3 of them are going to try and make a move without the 5-man alive. So they've got to let a second set go on.
This could be 3 sets. They've got to defend soon.
P-Vision with the patience and lead that they've had this game. Finally finding this huge opportunity to absolutely demolish the base of Heroic. Schofield's going to try for something. Yuma's going to go for it, but the Raw's there.
Invest.
I'll get the Enrage off Yuma. Has to start backing away, though, as the BKB begins to fall off. P-Vision, they've got the damage done. They've taken the barracks all the way from Heroic. The Mega Creeps are out.
Heroic have done such a good job through the majority of this game to hang on, but hang on it just was, it seems, as P-Vision now Mega Creeps, and a huge opportunity as now Roche will also spawn. They're hitting their element. Yuma, as we said, still yet to die, but can't do it on his own.
I mean, they're trying to head out.
P-Vision.
It's been hit by a scan, though, so P-Vision know that Heroic are going to maybe try and make this last-ditch attempt outside of the base.
And they've just got this Dominator up on the high ground, giving information as well. How do you approach this fight as Heroic?
It's so hard. In particular, where it's 4v5, you don't have Schofield ready to sort of throw himself in and disrupt the action with a hook shot and a cogs.
I think they might have to do that, though, and I think they can't approach these fights normally. They kind of have to get the initiation.
But eyes on DM, but instantly out with a blink. Yuma's going to try and chase. We'll get the Abyssal connection. Whisper jumps in as well, but DM is going to get forced away. Coil will catch on and refreshes pop as Yuma stays on top of DM. Is able to kill him off. Pudge in trouble, though. Whisper controlled here by Satanic. They'll get the buyback coming in. King Jungles will live for now, but Satanic jumps forward, takes him down. Yuma having a run for the last few seconds of the BKB, but P-Vision will stay on top of him. His Earthshock's down to the low ground, but the Abyssal from DM's back up. Yuma's dead. Triple kill for Satanic. Heroic, they tried to go for that last attempt. It does not work out. This Roshan, very likely the game, folks. It's going to be P-Vision's.
They tried to do the chaos play, but they did not have the numbers. Everyone just buys back the targets that they prioritize. DM's like, I can throw my life, buys back, rejoins it immediately. The Ursa dies for the first time in this game, but as you said, it could be that nail in the coffin. He does buy back. He does. So let's see if they can even hang on here.
Whisper does not. Still, yeah, 350 gold away from having the buyback on Pudge, so we'll just be with the four of them. And trying to hold against P-Vision now seems pretty impossible as they're on to the tier 4s. Aegis on no one, refresher shot on 9 class. P-Vision, they're ready to lay down the Wukong's command. Trying to Yuma, he's in with the jump. They're trying to burst the Lifestealer. Satanic, he's gonna get hit, but again, another bash. You'll get him with the Infest. Survives, heals up. They take down the bear, and with that, the tier 4s continue to remain exposed. This game is over. GG is called. P-Vision will take the first game.
The economy war, I mean, P-Vision playing the map as they do, as we've seen them do so much this tournament. It works again. Heroic, they really trying their best, getting these type of chaotic plays, which actually worked at least 1 or 2 scenarios, but overall, P-Vision, they had a pretty good grasp in a lot of this game.
Yeah, the lead was just too much for Heroic to deal with. They just needed to find more of those plays. We just saw such a long period of this game where P-Vision, they really were a step ahead until puck that was going to be expected because of how strong the Vision game was going to be from P-Vision.
Absolutely. I mean, the Night Stalker in particular, this last pick that they were able to grab up really was such a nuisance for something like Analog in particular. DM, he had a crazy good game, so we'll see what they do to adjust.
Absolutely great playing, great patience from P-Vision in that game to maintain the lead and know that when they go for that killing blow, it's a successful one. Game 1 to P-Vision.
And it was a great game for P-Vision here, right? If you're there in the arena cheering for them, you're so happy with how this one looked. It felt like just every core was having the time of their life on the cost.
Yeah, beautiful execution of the strategy coming out from P-Vision in this game number 1. We were wondering, whether there's going to be some nerves kicking in. They're playing in front of the crowd, the 3 new players at TI stage, but they don't really feel like it. It feels like this is their home, and they're playing it extremely well. You did mention the 3 cores. I love the synergy between them. I like how both supports are kind of allowing them to play their own type of a game. We saw so many early rotations. Beastmaster peeping in, making sure that they're going to be killing Whisper. And also, this Beastmaster, like, usually we don't see it from the mid lane nowadays anymore. It is still a good flex, but they realize that they can pick this Lifestealer as well and combine it with the Night Stalker overall last pick, and now you have overall the better vision in the game. Monkey King, Night Stalker as well, it's very difficult to fight the game.
Yeah, well, we want to focus on those rotations, right? Because we're talking about how good no one was rotating to help that safe lane of the duo with Satanic there on the Lifestealer. But something that's more important that we're not really seeing too often is actually carries themselves rotating through the portal, right? We saw Yuma do that one quite early, Jenkins.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, at this point, I feel like this is the Yuma rotation. He does it in almost every game, where he comes through the portal sometime after 5 minutes, and he gets a very important kill here because Whisper was struggling against Lifestealer. They pick Ursa to counter the Lifestealer, and it almost worked. Like, they didn't die until like very late into the game, where they had to literally throw like 3 heroes' deaths into the buyback in order to kite out all of Yuma's abilities in DKB, and then they finally killed him at the very end of the game.
But I also felt like P-Vision did a good job exposing the weakness of Hunter before, right? Because the hero doesn't push out late, and because he had a bad start, it's really difficult for him to cover. And you see, like throughout, I'm sure there are more clips later, they couldn't really push the way now, and they constantly getting ganked up. So I think, as he said, he wanted to give them their best strat, but he had a way to do it. He knew that Pudge is not strong because he couldn't really push waves, and really important that your bots are able to push waves out. And Pudge couldn't also push waves because he got countered by the...
Oh, I have an idea. Something that can push waves? Pudge Helm Dog. So you can block your own dog.
Okay, back to the time with you. All right, look, guys, we're going to look at that Vision game, specifically with Monkey King and Night Stalker, the lineup was decent. Seeing it in action and exactly how they're able to utilize it is a whole different thing.
Yeah, 9class is just being himself, being super annoying. Look at him dodging the ganks. This is 3 heroes, so there's going to be a hook, there's going to be another hook shot that they're trying to go for. And he's still going to be a sneaky work around the 14-minute mark, trying to go for the Wisdom Shrine. And he's just going to be staying around, getting back, and what he did a really good boundless strike. In the end, he doesn't even die. This is what he does the best. It's very annoying, and there's going to be another situation where he gets initiated on, again, providing info for the team to see where the players are, which allows others to play much more safe with the shard. Plus, also, we got to point out that they're nice. Really, really good. He's going for the nullifier as well. He can have it in this fight, but it also completely ruins what he wants to do with Ursa. He's good against Patterson, good against this Corsair, Hurricane, Pike, and Buck. They understand how to itemize correctly, and 9th class standout player for a good reason.
It is a really big deal against, especially like Heroic and an Ursa lineup, to waste time like that, to waste these smokes at the seats, because you end up in these games where like you have a timing, you know, like Ursa BKB, something like that, and you just legitimately don't have any smokes because you've spent so many of them, like smokes being broken, or a Monkey King, you know, jumps in, makes some, like, waste some time in the early game. Like, these things really matter in a game like this, especially when you're the team that is trying to create chaos.
And this kind of happened during the game when they traded Tormentor for the first Roshan. So the Ursa got the first Roshan, but he couldn't really push the map, you know, for advantages because they were constantly chasing around the monkey, was pressuring them. The map was pushed out. They just basically couldn't really do anything with the first A gates.
They just blocked. They just blocked every play from Heroic.
They couldn't progress on the map. And I felt like that was a huge problem in the game for them.
Yeah, and I think they also understood the fact that, okay, Rose, that's going to be an objective early, that Heroic are going to be really strong at that. You kind of want to give it away, but things and objectives that aren't as easy to give away, of course, is these Wisdom Shrines, right? You want to be able to take them away from your opponent as often as possible, and we normally see early fights around it, but in this one, we saw that later 27, 28-minute fight.
Yeah, they understand. They want to take it away, and this is the fight where Nightstalker does have Nullifier available, so it's going to be very difficult for Ursa to play the game. You'll remove his overpower, which means that he's not going to be having enough damage, and he's going to be running in, providing vision one more time. We've seen so many Infest bombs in this game, because you have both Beastmaster and Nightstalker ready to jump in with the Infest, so in the end, they're going to be stealing the Wisdom Shrine, and Nightstalker, in this one, it turns into daytime. His ulti just ended, but he's still going to be using Nullifier before he dies, making sure that the Ursa is not going to be able to do much. But Yuma, man, I gotta say, he had a perfect game. He doesn't get better than this. We said that he's playing the tournament of his life so far. Dying first time 50 minutes into the game, he was very slippery. Even though he played into a really difficult matchup, you're playing into Beastmaster, you're playing into Nightstalker. These are not the matchup that he likes to play into.
I mean, even Lifestealer with the Ags, we talked about it. Like, you can kite out the Ursa in Rage with the Lifesteal Ags. You Infest, and it's not affected by status resistance, so it's not exactly the matchup that it was before. We did see, like, one time, I think, a couple times, it was able to do a lot of damage. Right here, for example, like, finally, with this, you know, maybe save the Whisper, obviously Punch does not do enough damage to kill a Lifestealer. The Ursa is like, okay, don't mind if I do. And this is where I think a lot of people were thinking, like, are they doing it? Are they coming back? But more annoying P-Vision shenanigans, like able to slowly kite everything out and only lose Satanic there. I think this is something that they're very good at, is when they do lose a hero, they will retreat tactically, you know? They, as Astini said, will throw once per game, and so they're very good at making sure that that throw does not end up throwing the entire game.
It happens, they recognize and they're like, okay guys, that was the one, now we just have to go back, reset, wait until Satanic comes up.
We've done this so many times at this point.
Yeah, something else for this game that interested me was the buybacks. Normally people are holding it, right? When we get past that 35, closer to the 40-minute aspect of the game, everyone's very hesitant or reserved to just immediately buy back. They kind of want to hold it and they wait until that high ground is pressured, but for P-Vision, it's like, yeah, the Ursa killed 4 of us, let's hold his buyback for him.
Yeah, I mean, the buyback part is something that you have to really understand as a team and how to. I think the buyback is just like, oh, I'm going to say buyback, but you don't really plan how to use it, right? So they show you in a couple of fights how to use buyback. Sometimes it's easy when you're in your base, but sometimes it's also a bit more complicated when somebody has to willingly sacrifice your life to ensure your team has a good opening, right? So those are things that are not easily done in the game.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that Heroic did so well for themselves, P-Vision as well. Breaking it down a little bit further for us is, of course, our Weatherman Purge.
Thanks, Nat. Yeah, I thought 9 class had really an amazing game, so I wanted to highlight some of the great things they did, because he had a little bit of a rough laning stage. This game playing Monkey King, getting back into his normal thing. Now, very importantly, like he's basically trying to waste a lot of his opponent's time. They happen to get lucky and hit him with a rocket flare, and as a result, this is an easy kill on him if you can catch him before he manages to come off cooldown here. But because he jumps into the trees, they put all this effort in trying to kill him. This is wasting tons of time, and he's doing economic damage. So him surviving and then ultimately having a great fight over here is fantastic for his team. He's not dying, he's getting pressure, and ultimately his core is getting farther and farther ahead. And how this changes as the game continues is basically because of the height of the home to dome. Now, Monkey classically never buys this, but it's working out for 9 class here because it fits his place. He's trying to waste his opponent's time. He's trying to push side lanes where it's normally dangerous for somebody to farm. So he's taking care of this, and it's accelerating his team's growth in pretty interesting ways. This is a little bit further forward in the game, but I want to show you the kind of vision that P-Vision is doing. What they're doing is they're basically trying to make a big blockage on the map. So I think Virtual should do a little bit more like this. They basically get to farm all of this by themselves, and that space is going to be smaller than the left side of the map. So that means as the game goes on for 5-10 minutes or so, they're just constantly getting more net worth per minute than their opponents are. And this further gets cascaded because 9 class is using his trolls in interesting ways. He's sending the skeletons out to spot where his opponents are. That means less of his teammates are getting ganked by pressure from the enemy lineup. And check out what he's doing with these skeletons as well. 19 minutes, 30 seconds in. He's even hiding the Dark Troll there. He's not necessarily pushing with it. He's sending the skeletons to block camps, similar to what a Broodmother is going to do. So that's further decreasing the GPM that Heroic has. They have less of the map already, and now they're getting even less gold out of it. And this is why P-Vision started getting more and more net worth from this point of the game onwards and made their game just much easier to play.
That is just insane to really think about, right? It's always been about utilizing the observers, and now we're wondering Helmdom coming in. That's great for pushing out the stalling waves. That's something that you can delay the game with. But now there's a whole nother aspect to it of supports getting it, prioritizing what sort of creep they want, and now blocking cans with
That is just incredible. I don't think anybody was thinking about that. Using the skeletons to block camps, like, that's one thing, is people can complain about Helmdom, and yes, it's running rampant, it's in every game. This is a high skill item. Like, to use at this level, there's so much that you can do with it.
Normally you will only be able to do this if you're Naga. Playing support Naga, you spend the region to use all camps.
Make the profit as prison for 5 and also block multiple camps at the same time. But this also allows you to not get enough farm, because you talked about the lane pushing. Now you don't have your own camp to do it. Recently, block with Fudge. These type of heroes, they want to be playing very active. They want to be on the other side of the map, and these are not the fastest farmers. P-Vision did a very good job choking them out of the map, but not allowing them to get them.
Yeah, avoiding fires, making sure there was no map for them. It feels like a lot of things are going right to P-Vision, but Heroic, one thing that I do know is on their side is a lot of the fans in the arena, and I believe Tsunami and Arvo are down there trying to check in and see how the fans are doing.
I mean, as far as I'm concerned, I have sided with the winning team so far. Because
Tsunami?
What do you want, Avo?
Look, I know you've already picked a side, but I think I have the larger side. I'm literally surrounded, by Heroic fans. Can I actually just show, 1 second, please. Can you please show to the crowd how much of a fan you are?
This is what we are going to say when Astini loses the second game. Right?
But South Americans, if there's something they know how to do, we know how to roar, South America! Let's go!
Avo, what now? What is going on here? South America makes it to top 8. You just reappear. And yet I also find that P-Vision very excited here. They see the Oracle. Tell me the story behind this.
Astini can do all the predictions. He do the best picks. Wait for us, Saportado.
He knew to let the punch and the clockwork through, and he beat it, Avo. What are you going to do about it?
Okay. It's hard to compete against Astinissimo. It's true. He's also Brazilian. He's also part of us, okay? And as true South Americans, what we do is we claim anyone that plays well. Anyone that does well is from Brazil, is from Peru. And today, I want your whole stadium to roar for South America. Please, a big shout for the great
finals. But for right now, we're going to go back to the panel as we prepare for game number 2.
Thank you both so much, Tsunami, Arvo, getting everyone on their feet, getting some more cheers out there. I know everyone is just cheering for some good Dota, and that's what felt like it really happened in that game number 1. Very good back and forth, whether you want to look at it on the deepest levels, Jenkins, or if you just want to look at it at a surface level and be like, yeah, punch under tower hook. I like that.
Yeah, 52-minute game. It wasn't like a stomp either way. I think if we're talking, maybe like 5-6 months ago, P-Vision is supposed to stop Hero, but now we have a top 8 international stage game between these two teams, and game 2 could go either way, because I feel like that game, that went pretty badly for Hero, given that they had their, arguably best strategy, and like it's felt like almost none of their plays connected. Things can go a lot better. Like if Caps can, work out the kinks, I think game 2, give them the same thing, they're gonna take it to them.
Yeah, just shake it up, it's hard to say that, but it's not elimination. These guys are in the upper bracket. There's still so much potential for them. There's a lot of chances. It's not over by any means. They get to have this fun between the two coaches, really kind of like ego check each other a little bit, Lacoste.
Yeah, for sure. I think Cavs did tweet it out yesterday that they are ready. All the prep is ready, and it seems like, coming into the second game, I want to see that prep as well, because this one didn't really work out for them, especially against a team like P-Vision, who kind of managed to out-maneuver them on the map, choke them out real heavily. I want to see slightly more aggression. I want to see them create that chaos, because 10-15 minutes into the game, we only had 8 kills, and this is not how usually Heroic plays. So I want to see them try to put them in a position where P-Vision doesn't feel as comfortable.
Yeah, he's going to play a really important role here, deciding whether they're going to stick to their guns and make minor adjustments, or they're going to just completely change up their graph. As we saw in the first game, they had a lot of problems dealing with the speed pushing of the creeps. They needed something like, maybe something along the lines like Ducks. We still play Ducks here, so you can have one of the core heroes just Shadow pushing the waves out so that you can fight, because they like to fight, they like to kill heroes.
Yeah.
But if you don't push the waves out, you can't kill the heroes.
To be honest, I don't think they should change anything up, because if a single smoke gets broken, like just one in a game, that's a blunder in my opinion. Because there's a Night Stalker on the enemy side. He just pressed ult. You cannot walk into a lane and press smoke. To me, this is a little bit of maybe pressure getting to them. Like I guarantee you, this is a talk that they had backstage. Yep. I guarantee you they talked about dealing with the Monkey King better. Maybe they banned the Monkey King, whatever. 9 Class is going to do the same thing no matter what. You have to find a way to deal with him with wasting less time, or just don't deal with him. Make your own plays, but if you're going to do that, you cannot just run your smoke into a Night Stalker.
I think you got to respect that position force. Like the best position fours in Dota history, we're talking about Jarex, like Baboka, Jinkyu, these very annoying players, Boxy as well. It's very difficult to deal with what they're doing on the map, because they understand the micro and macro like completely. They know how you're going to move. They can predict your moves, and this is exactly what 9 Class is doing right now compared to Schofield, who's a bit more of a polarizing player, I would say, who's playing much more aggressive. I don't think he's fishing for information as much as 9 Class is doing.
I mean, that's like a very surface level problem. I think the true issue is the overall strategy. How are they going to build a lineup which allows them to cover more ground? They have a lineup which, technically speaking, they need to snowball. They're going to kill heroes and they just keep running at you. But you can't do that if you don't have an all-rounded draft. So I think they probably have to look into that. If they don't change anything, I think the game is just going to end up the same way.
That's true. It's easier to make the good plays and to not have to deal with 9 Class if you're also creating pressure somewhere yourself.
I think sure he's like a huge problem, but he's not the root of the problem.
There's also a big difference, I would say, with the position fours, with the itemization that they're buying. For example, in the previous game, you have Schofield rushing Aghanim Scepter, so you're really not getting the value out of the gold until you finish the Aghanim Scepter, which is 4.2k gold, compared to Helm of the Dominator, which is 2.5k gold. And the component that he's getting is coming online much faster. And we're also talking about them having an early lead, so he's utilizing that much better compared to the enemy.
I was expecting an earlier 4-step. To be honest, because if you look at literally every P-Vision hero, all of them don't like playing in the first. Like they have some circle that you need to force out of, in the Monkey King, the Night Stalker, Beastmaster Roar, things like that. But Schofield, I also respect that he's got his own way of playing. He doesn't care what we think. He doesn't care what his team thinks. He doesn't care what anybody thinks. He just plays his own way. Unfortunately, it meant that he didn't have much counterplay for his team, but he's got his own strats.
potentials we want to see for game number 2. But as we can see, our players are back in that booth, and that means we get to look forward to a game 2 draft.
P-Vision versus Heroic. Game 2.
Upper bracket, no elimination on the lines by any mean, but Heroic definitely are going to want to bounce back to this one. They want to make it closer. A closer series is what everyone would love to see. I've already highlighted a position 4, maybe even just the support picks in general with it, because they, in game 1, we got that uncontested, and now maybe showing some.
Yeah, I guess they probably really wanted maybe to make the touch the carry. That's why they picked the CM, and it didn't really work out. So this game, they're gonna have to rethink their overall strategy. Because sometimes when you try to flex your heroes around too much, then it ends up being really hard to make the whole draft come together. They're gonna have the Nature's Prophet now, which is gonna solve a lot of their wave shuffling problem.
Yes.
Heroes global, so it's definitely gonna be a very, very different game here.
And it's also a hero that can deal with some denominator fees with Sprout with equal utility. Mostly from overall position for them as well as Angrily and P-Vision, after seeing what Nightreign did do in the previous game, they're not going to complicate too much, having them 1-0 lead after game number 1 to try to repeat what they did.
Yeah, the other side of Heroic, they actually value that Night Stalker being much more of an issue than the Monkey King. We did offer two different ways to deal with it, either drop deal with it, or just kind of ignoring it. That was actually pretty good.
Maybe they wanted to go for puck again this time because they're on the first pick side, so they're probably planning to maybe 18 pick the puck.
Yep, they ban DK as well. That also indicates the puck.
So there's a very high likelihood we see P-Vision maybe on the 16-17 pick try to snatch the puck away if they think that's a good move for them.
And the Rogue Spectre as well, which means that Nature's Prophet is going to be played as a core. Most likely this is not the matchup that he likes to play into. Heroic is the only team so far in the tournament that did play Spectre. Overall, they did win the game, so it seems like they know something about the hero that could potentially be good, especially in this matchup, having that global presence against MP and try to punish him.
I mean, it's also the fact that whenever you're playing into Nature's Prophet, you kind of want someone to be able to shove the waves away from the team and over to like maybe call that draw, underlord, those are the type of heroes. Even though it's not a very popular hero, but people kind of do it.
Heroic was so quick on their side of this with the ban, and P-Vision taking more of that time. They see what we saw right that time. They don't want to pick it up for themselves. They're really going to make sure that Heroic can't have the perfect setup for a puck game.
I mean, this is also really, really good sequence here. So they know that the opponent is going to ban the puck, and when you remove the puck, Queen of Pain becomes very high value. This puck is a huge counter to port in the lane in the game.
I will say though, Nature's Prophet traditionally has been a very strong hero at laning into Queen of Pain. So it does eliminate like an off-lane flop potential. You know it's most likely going to go mid. I mean, 9 class was experimenting with position 4 Queen of Pain for quite some time in pubs. Maybe he'll do it here. We'll see.
Yeah, this is the hero to catch the Monkey King. You see him, you creep him as long as you're on high ground ward. You see him. This is one of the best setups for killing a Monkey King.
I'm interested to see if they still value like clock punch. You know, I feel like they've solved some of the issues that we talked about with the Nature's Prophet. They did go to 52 minutes in the game. It was a relatively close game.
I would really lean towards melee position 4, maybe Marcy, keep that potential flex from the offense, maybe even Tusk to have ability to save people, but right now you do have Vayne with the Nightmare save, that's going to be good, and these heroes that I can mention even get more value after being even walking into this comes into play for sure.
Oh man, what a combo Bane Shadow Fiend is too. You can Nightmare sleepwalk somebody into the SF Requiem, and that is going to be one shot.
I mean, does this indicate that Nature's Prophet might be a support, or is just going to be a Nature's Prophet carry as a mid?
I feel like it's analog calling it one of the SF. It's like his best hero. So, I mean, other than Prophet.
He's really tired, so it does make sense that it's leaning that way. I do think maybe just trying not to flex too much could also be a strength for Heroic.
I mean, but at the same time, I feel like if P-Vision chooses to go for like some Tusk, Spirit Breaker, those are heroes that are really good at punishing mid SF, right? So if you get like 1 or 2 kills on him in the laning phase, you could completely ruin his game as the SF mid. I mean, ET is kind of nice in Spain in team fights. You can cancel the grip from far range. Amps up the swap damage.
It's also a great hero securing lane for Satanic, no matter what. Like an ET is gonna do well.
Yeah, not to mention the runes though. I think the rune fights are going to be extremely important in this game if the SF is going mid. You want to win the rune fight, so you need suitable supports that are very strong at using their body or their stuns to secure them.
And I like this. They Phoenix in 17, not showing where the Phoenix is going to go, not showing where Monk is going to go, so having that flexibility in 5 with Phoenix and Monkey, and also DM was one who did play on 30 and played as well, so that's like 0 that could make this come.
Very late on Phoenix and Monkey. If your SF is carry right now, you're going to be feeling the hit, right?
Yeah.
Or even a Nature's Prophet.
Even Nature's can die to that.
Does Phoenix really hit that archetype? Because we talk about it so much. DM kind of gets left alone in that lane, right? We're really going to see 9 class on a Monkey King again. Is it going to be okay for DM on this Phoenix? How much?
I mean, the thing with that is you don't really need much help later. As long as you get through your weakest phase, which is I would say the first couple of levels, especially level 1.
Yeah.
As long as Monkey King is there, he helps you secure your couple of levels. You get the Lotus. I think Phoenix wants solo levels. You want to get to your level 6 as quickly as you can. And I think Monkey King could actually just allow you to do that, and he just runs around and ganks, especially the SF mid.
I think you're pretty tempted to pick Snapfire here, right? Into the Phoenix, kill the egg. I think it would also do pretty well in lane against like Elder Titan position 5.
At this pick, you want to use the 18 on support. Maybe the next pick, but it's probably not going to be there anymore.
So what is the mod adding for value for the heroic draw that is slightly better than that?
They need to fight, but they need someone to buy pipe, I think. Potential.
I mean, Mars destroys Monkey King in the game. If you drop the arena and it kills all of the trees around the arena as well as the music.
You don't have the only out there for 7. You got the response coming in, so once you're literally out, done immediately.
I mean, you also kind of have a combo, right? You have to lock them in the arena, then you pierce them to the wall.
Oh yeah,
that's pretty nice.
That's a crazy combo. Like their team fight is incredible in this game. I mean, I still think Snapfire is amazing. It's like Snapfire, Mars lane, arena into Snap ulti. I'd be very shocked if P-Vision lets it through.
There's a lot of things that they're going to have to think about for themselves because it's the same issue. You don't want a tunnel vision that they are looking for a support. We have said that it is most likely going to be a Nature's Prophet that isn't a core role, but you don't want to overcrowd all of us.
Yeah, you never want to like lock something in. I mean, especially hero like Nature's. It literally was played as a support just like 2 weeks ago.
That was you.
I'm playing a lot. Yeah. I'm still playing. It is still a good support. It's just that with the prevalence of Dawn and being able to read that support very easily, it's like a 3-. It's a lot more core these days.
But when you look towards the do you think there's more impact coming from another 4-year heroic or more impact in that Snapfire that is still?
Probably the Snapfire. I think the Snapfire just solves the egg problem, and it also kind of gives you more damage into the arena. So it feels very natural to go for the Snapfire. I mean, they've offered to ban out the silencer. I mean, it's kind of okay.
It would have been a pretty nasty silencer pick. It's like super high win rate against Queen of Pain. She hates playing into silencer. It's so much magic damage, and then Phoenix as well.
Yeah, both the bans are kind of to protect the Quap in the game. With Abaddon to remove the poison. But I still think Snapfire is like more important than the Swifters. I think I'll be okay if I'm heroic. If I'm taking that trade, I'm fine.
The only thing is like it's a question of does Schofield want to play it? I mean, he does play it in general. Like this is one of the heroes that he came onto the scene playing. He's been enjoying mostly melee heroes in this patch.
If they feel like they need a better guy with Shadowfield, they could run Bane as a position 4.
Yeah,
because there's a flexibility. You can still play NP from the mid lane. This is doable.
Disruptor?
Huh?
You want Disruptor? If you want to pick a 5?
I'm still leaning maybe towards melee position 5 if they want to run it with the position 4, and then you have Shadowfield from the mid lane NP with maybe Tusk or Marcy, even Marcy with Gen convention.
Yeah, that would actually make sure that the lane is a lot more stable for the Nature's Prophet. Or the effort.
There's no other time left. Currently, it's the last one themselves. It feels like they still haven't solved exactly what they want.
here so he can actually mirror the Monkey King moving around the map.
And you kill the egg. Like it's a we were talking about Snapfire and the egg versus best scores. The best score of the game.
Well, 2 wins on hard score. Position 5 major points of all time.
I mean, this is King Turbo's best score. So I think it's a matter of, like Uma said, I played basic versus the last game. We lost in 52 minutes, but he had no deaths for pretty much the entire game. He's feeling strong tonight. It's a really good first game.
You have faith in him, like you have to love that.
Yeah, 100%. I think they've solved a lot of the issues that were in the previous draft. I want to meme about the pudge. I don't think that was the issue. I think what Winter said definitely was, like, not being able to push out the lanes.
This is going to give it a lot of tempo, a lot of explosive damage that's going to be coming out. You have PT that's going to amplify your damage from Queen of Pain from your Phoenix core, which is going to be dealing an insane amount of magical damage. And then you have Temporal Assassin with the PT for on top of that. So the heroes are going to be dying very quickly.
I think the laning setup is also very, very strong for PV. Just with the TA, EP, and the Phoenix Monkey King. I could see them kind of getting a good advantage out of their right lane. And then you have a fork to run around and snowball the lead even further. So this game could either be really, really quick game for PVision or Heroic. Is going to be able to drag the game long enough for the heroes to be able to fight back.
Yeah, I agree. I think P-Vision's got a really good mid-game timing, for sure. But if it does go late game, if Heroic can get there, like SF with Mars Arena and Ursa damage, like they have a lot of scale in many different ways.
The question is also just, can they get the lead if they can get their lead?
They did last game. And I think if they do the exact same thing, way easier for them to execute.
They also have major problem this time around in scale of position for their clockwork. They will not find this one, but they will allow them to scale. You can still get the item, you can push out the wings. This is the problem that they have the game number 1 Shadow King, shots the way hard and all the cool abilities. But I don't think they're going to have the same issue, and I also think they're really impressive from position 4. Not sure if that's going to be Vision trap, X-Force, all the objectives on the map, but being able to fight the pro and
Because of what you said about like what try to target in this bit of band-aid patch, right? If you're not really fixing the solution, is there more of a fix to the overall underlying issue?
I think they definitely solve some of the wave clear issue, but it's just about the sacrifice they're making. They're taking a lot of weak heroes in the lane, and if they can actually bypass and solve that problem, I think they're going to be a good shot going to the game.
Alright, okay. I just gotta see where it is, because we said coming into this one, it could potentially be a very close series. We don't exactly know where it could lay either way. P-Vision up against Heroic. I do know that Heroic, they're gonna need a little bit of backing here, Jenkins.
From the crowd, you mean?
Yeah, or you.
Yeah, let's go Heroic, game 3! So we can get another punch. Let's get another punch on the
I was hoping for a little
more
bit more, but
for Crimson Witness. Let's hear it for Crimson Witness and Heroic.
I believe in this P-Vision draft, I'm going to be honest.
We're going to go down to the coach, because I feel like that's someone who can definitely give us more faith in Heroic.
Absolutely. We are here with Caps. Caps, welcome back again. Hell of a game that you guys played last time. Really fought till the end there, and pretty good draft here, I have to say myself here. You did give them their iconic Monkey King again. Do you think that the Mars will be enough to deal with that, or did you have any other plans for that?
We think that the hero is annoying for sure, but if we worry about the hero just because it's annoying, the draft gets too hard. And I think this game we have better tools to deal with it, and we could have won last game as well, right? You guys saw it. It was close.
Absolutely. It was a hell of a game. So how did you get the guys out of that mindset? Because it really was a back and forth. You guys did great in that early game. Were there any words that you said to them, like, guys, drop it, let's get into the next game?
We usually just try to be as direct as we can about the things that went wrong and cheer them up in general, like a good friend.
I could definitely tell that you guys are big homies in there, and obviously against a team that you know a lot about. The crowd, I don't know if you saw them, but they were absolutely screaming out for you. Heroic fans, you still out there?
There's way more than expected, since South America is a bit far, you know?
Yeah, South America far, but they're here in spirit, and they're ready to see you win this one. Bring it to a game 3. Are you ready for that, my man?
Of course, of course.
All right, let's bring it into the game and see if they can make it. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
this time around. Changes, but of course Heroic, they do still end the draft with that Ursa once again.
He played a hell of a game in that last game, right? So I can see why he probably asked for it again. But adaptations made on both sides, we do see a ton of team fight this game on both sides. It's actually insane how much it's been round up. The ET being part of the mix, my favorite word to say that. But yeah, lots of different things that we can talk about here as Analog getting to play is extremely, if not his most comfort hero. Of course, his puck is one of them, but he loves to play the Shadow game. So looking forward to see what he can do on this, because I felt like in that last game, he just had such a hard time to talk. They just had so many answers for him. Yes, he was pulling attention away from the Ursa, tanking the Night Stalker silence a lot, but this one, maybe he can have a bit of a better time in terms of just standing his ground.
And do you like that overall from Heroic going for this approach where they do keep that, the Nature's Prophet back in the support position and get something else secured for the cause in a game like this?
Yeah, I think it's kind of cool because it's KJ's favorite hero. He played it so many times in pubs and also in these officials. And I think it does give you an extra tool in terms of playing the economy map game. P-Vision has shown how many games they love the economy map game. Having a hero like Nature's Prophet, even as support, it can do a lot. Either scouting with the Sprouts, sending treants eventually once he starts getting the points in it. So I'm looking forward to see what he's going to be able to do, if anything, in particular. Let's see how Yuma's game in particular also goes, since he did have a great performance in that last one, but it does feel like there's a lot more things to trip him up this game.
Oh, well, yeah, well, Yuma that's a tougher challenge for the band.
Yeah, besides the Night Stalker. The Night Stalker was very difficult for him in that last game, but the attention of the Night Stalker was on the puck. This one, I think more attention is going to be put on this Ursa in terms of just naturally inside the fights. The stomps, the shadow strikes, the heat pain, trap silence from Ursa, the same thing here. So we'll see how that adjustment comes out with the shadow strike in the mid lane right now. No one. Great time to miss.
A lot of denies at bottom lane. First blood's going to be found here by the Turtles in the 9 class. That's a rough one.
Yeah, this lane in particular is way harder. The Night Stalker plus the Monkey lane is a passive farm style lane. This is an oppressive lane that is going to try to constantly kill you. And Phoenix, if he gets off to a hot start, can be one of the more impressive 3% heroes that we've seen.
I mean, that's the thing right here. He's in this lane as long as Ian has died. He's never going to die. Against the Nature's Prophet and us to do it.
Unless there's a third hero, right, that rotates in. But I don't think Schofield can really leave too much. He has to stay top. Since he wants to make sure that he can give this Mars something. Because that's a hard lane for the Mars playing versus the ET. ET can constantly set up kills onto you.
We saw last game, obviously, you're very much a fan of them finding a way to get the Lifestealer in as the carry pick this time round, getting that TA here for Satanic, another one of his strongest heroes in the carry position. And they're going to be feeling pretty good about getting that through this game, right?
For sure, gives them so much hybrid damage. Now they have so much physical. They also have a ton of magical. And then ET, who just loves to have a second hero that thrives off that extra minus over too. Now we look strong. For most teams, I mean, not everybody picked the TA, but again, it gives you, back.
Another kill in for the two of them.
The Urn charges, giving up kills is dangerous here.
It's going to get just tougher and tougher for you to survive through this laning stage. They're going to have to bring out a lot of regen. How do they sort of keep him in a position of farm down?
He might just die, honestly. It's very likely he might just die almost immediately. DM, if he lands even an Urn on him, he might speak a kill.
Spring. Let's have a dodge it there with the Earth shot. But yeah, this is not a fun spot to be in if you're the Ursa.
He's going to have to spend a lot of money on regen, so he even buys his own salve. They've got an early bracer that he goes to try to withstand some of that pressure. But yeah, it feels like this is going to be very sad for Yuma in terms of this laning phase. Gets his salve canceled immediately from the Urn too, and instant Fire Spirits.
DM ready to just push the hero to the limits and gets it with the dive as well. Boundless is there. Yuma should be all right this time.
Can they turn it?
See if they can get the swipe stacked up on a 9 class sprout to block him off. Yuma's got to be careful.
Fire
the Spirit connects, and that's going to allow 9 class to just trade back with him and survive. He gets away.
Another one.
Oh, this bottom lane, it's painful to watch, fuck. This is getting nasty.
This can actually be the big problem with picking something like NP5, the greediness in the lane, but it's mostly just this Phoenix, how oppressive the hero can be. Ursa walks up, eats multiple Fire Spirits. They have another Urn charge immediately, so they can look to continue this pressure.
I mean, and as you said as well, that it's just difficult really for Schofield to leave sort of the top to be here.
He might have to, honestly. Like, this is disastrous.
Team Jungles, he's tried for this play to see if he could kind of catch 9 class backing off, but now he's going to die for it. So it's just going to be another kill for DM, now dominating. 5 minutes in, 4 kills here on the Phoenix.
This is really problematic. You have to do something to fix this. DM is going to have the earliest Spirit Vessel of ever, maybe. Definitely the tournament, but he's pretty close to having it already. About 700 off, and he's buying small items in between. It's a really good Vessel game, too, whenever you're playing versus something.
Here's Schofield heading down to at least provide some sort of extra presence for Yuma.
You have to.
Well, they can do, they get the Nightmare drag back, but he has got the dive up, DM. And 9 classes here ready to help out, so DM should be able to step away. They'll throw down a block grenade, but TPs are coming in. Heroic, they're not getting a kill out of this. They have to back off.
No one will cancel the TP, but they do get the rune as well, so Ducalos was able to take that one away from Analog. All 3 lanes
and look
going
at this mid lane.
I mean,
20 denies here from no one against Analog's SF. That's pretty crazy, because out of all the heroes, you don't normally expect to be able to get that many denies against an SF.
An unbelievable start for the side of P-Vision.
Yeah, this is getting crazy.
You see, I mean, Schofield, as you said, he's looking to make some adaptations, looking to adjust somehow, but even with the 3 heroes down here, Owen, this is not an easy way to push DM out of lane.
Look at this as well. We're 6.5 minutes in. Satanic, he has double the CS of Yuma's Ursa.
Oh, in this game, it's rough at the start here, and we'll see how Heroic can look to adapt things. Even when the problem is, too, is their mid laner is having such a hard time. Usually what happens is, okay, our mid can try to tempo control and adapt and make things look better for us, but he's going to also having big problems in that mid lane, a catapult wave even.
And I don't think Schofield's going to get away with this, unless can you make some sort of play with the Nightmare to
You can sleep
this?
them out of it and pull them away. Let's see if he can.
He might just, okay, he's going to show himself.
He did it.
Oh, there we go, easy.
He did it the perfect way.
A little bit of something, but he doesn't have a TP, so he's going to just have to try and walk back to safety.
Looks like he will be able to get away with that one. So at least one thing going the way of Heroic.
It's the best thing that's happened for them so far this game. It's a tough one here.
Yeah, their Ursa is already having to hit jungle creeps. SF as well, also having to hit jungle. It's pre-8 minutes and they're getting pushed out of their lane. It's a level 4 Ursa, and
yeah, I guess just having sort of this mid SF and this safe lane Ursa, they both need a lot of time, a lot of space to fall back, hit the jungle creeps. Like, who's going to make moves on Heroic?